Joe Rogan Podcast. Check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
Especially in Hollywood, right? You always have a bounce. There's guys standing there with the big.
You always need
thing.
someone like wandering around in front of you, especially when you get to a certain age. You're like, can we just put Vaseline on the camera?
Oh, like a filter?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, my wife actually likes it when her lens on her camera phone is like blurry.
A little dirty?
She's like, it gives you like a little filter. Like,
Yeah, I'm sure they offer that filter.
Yeah,
Slightly
sure.
dirty lens.
Yeah, smudgy lens. Yeah. So, really nice to meet you.
That's nice to meet
You
you.
were a part of, I think, the most underappreciated sci-fi show ever.
I think at the time, absolutely.
I
yeah.
mean, even now, I don't think people talk about it enough. It was a fucking great show.
Yeah.
And I was so skeptical about Battlestar Galactica because when I was a kid, I watched the original series. And then there was a new one coming out. And I was like, oh, come on. And then somebody told me, I forget, one of my friends, one of my comedian friends, like, dude, you got to watch the show. It's fucking great. Like, it's not what you expect. Like, you'd think it would be like the old Battlestar Galactica, which is kind of sort of corny a little bit, but it was a really fucking good show.
When did you watch it? When it was on or
Yeah.
after?
No, when it was on.
Okay, so
Yeah.
originally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, God, like when I first got the script, it was like 2001, and I was a 21-year-old kid. And at that point, I'd been playing like stereotypical blonde roles. You know, I was in a movie where you were like, please die. You know, like I was that girl, you know. And so I knew that if I could change my career, I needed to change it. And I saw this script.
That's hilarious that you're thinking I need to change my career at 21.
At 21.
That's
I
how
was like-
crazy the hourglass is in Hollywood.
I was like, I got 7 years left.
So crazy. That's
like-
such a fucking sketchy job.
I know. And so I was like, what am I going to do, right? And I saw this script, and Ron Moore had put an entry page on the front of the miniseries. It was like a Bible that he called it. And it was him saying what he wanted to create and what he wanted it to look like and what his intention was behind the show. And that one page was so moving that it could have been, it didn't even matter what it was on the inside. I was like, if this guy is in charge, it's going to be amazing. And as soon as I got introduced to Starbuck, like reading that script, I was like, this is it. Like, this is the character that if I can book this character, like, it will change the way that people see me in this business. And granted, I was 21. People were not talking about me.
Right.
You know, I'd been working for 5 years at that point and pretty steadily. Like, I had a good career going, but like, I was not someone that like people called home about yet. I was on the list, you know,
Right.
but that show changed everything.
Well, it was also a risky thing because you were playing a role that was played by a man. Mm-hmm. So that was a thing where there's like a little bit of, oh, there's a girl playing Starbuck now.
Yeah, I know. It was really strange. So I was like almost had booked the part, or maybe I'd booked the part. I don't quite remember. And I called my dad, who's a huge science fiction fan and raised me on like sci-fi. And I was like, I booked this job. And he was like, that's amazing. What is it? And I said, Battlestar Galactica. And he went, oh my God, that's great. I watched that when I was, younger. And he was like, who are you playing? And I said, Starbuck. And he was like, oh, fuck. You need to go watch this. And I was like, okay, all right. So I like tromps on down to, Blockbuster Video, and I rent the VHS, maybe the DVDs. I don't remember what it was. And I'm sitting on the couch with a girlfriend, and we like opened a bottle of wine, and we're like watching this to like be like, okay, what's my dad talking about? And at some point she looked at me and they were like talking about Starbuck, and I was like, that's so weird. We must have missed her. Where is she?
That's funny.
And we rewound it a little bit, and I was like, oh crap.
It's a guy.
And then I turned it off and I never watched it again because I knew that in that moment it wasn't the same character.
It's not the same show.
It's not the same show.
It's kind of crazy that they did that because they made a way better show about a show that was just kind of nostalgic.
It was. I mean, it really only existed for a year, I think. And then they had like a movie or two afterwards. But it was a very short-lived show. And I always find it absolutely amazing. Ron Moore is a genius, by the way. Like, he's absolutely to be a fly on the wall of that brain would probably just explode in my head. But he the fact that he saw what he saw and led the charge on that show and brought the people on board that he did that had the same vision, if not, hire people that are better than you, and so he hired people that added to the vision that he wanted to create. And the fact that he saw that from the original was pretty amazing.
Yeah, kind of crazy because the original show was basically a ripoff of Star Wars.
It was.
They were just trying to make a Star Wars TV show.
I think so. I mean, I think that, Starbuck was Han Solo.
Right.
Right?
Right. And the Cylons were kind of like stormtroopers.
They
like
were.
robot stormtroopers.
It was pretty, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know who Daggett the dog was.
No, I don't know. Either. I mean, what they did was, they took like they said, like, I see what you were trying to do, but this could be a real show. Yeah.
I mean, and it came out in a time where science fiction was allowed to be incredibly topical. And it was always dismissed as, oh, that's just science fiction.
Right.
It's not real.
Right.
So Battlestar was allowed to talk about controversial things that were happening currently in the environment and in our country and abroad. And it was allowed to do so because everybody just dismissed it as sci-fi. And so it's incredibly moving, the show, and people identify with it. The thing that I hear the most about the show, I mean, maybe not the most, but one of the things is when I go to sci-fi conventions, someone will inevitably come up with a DVD box that is just beat to shit. It's dirty. It's like they don't even know if the DVDs play anymore. And they're like, this came with me when I was, stationed in Afghanistan or Iraq, and it passed through the entire barracks and it got us through. Thank you. And that to me is really amazing, that a fictional show about people searching for Earth can be so important and relevant to people that are in the military, it says something for the writing.
Well, people need an escape, and that's one of the things. Like, entertainment is dismissed, especially like fantasy entertainment, like sci-fi. It's dismissed as being nonsense, but escape is not nonsense. It's actually like brain medicine. Like, you need it. You need a little escape.
Of course you do.
And especially if like it's escape that's also inspirational and interesting and fascinating, it occupies your mind and it frees you up. If you're in the middle of a fucking war zone and you can take some entertainment value out of a television show that's about robots that are trying to kill everybody. Yeah. It's like very valuable.
Some of the hardest moments in my life, current and in the past, that I've been able to get through them because of television and film. Not because like I'm in it. Yes, the fantasy of going to work and being somebody else absolutely takes you out of your own skin for a second. But like, going through the health struggles with our daughter, watching TV with her completely transports you to a different place.
Right.
I mean, we can all do that. We can all relate to that. So,
yeah. I mean, you can get too much of it in your life where you're just wasting your life away, but as a supplement to life, I think that entertainment is very important. It is. And it's also, I think we get something very valuable out of viewing other people's creations. I think there's something to that when a group of people put together something really cool and when it's over, you're like, wow, that was fucking awesome.
Art is really important.
Yeah.
I think that creating just art in any medium is really important because it transports people. It makes them feel something, whether it makes you feel whatever it makes you feel.
Yeah.
It's incredibly important. One of my favorite things is to go to a concert and experience live music with a crowd. It is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a different thing,
it
right?
Really
because
is.
There's some sort of a mind meld with the entire audience.
Yeah.
Where you feel this energy of everybody enjoying the same thing together. It's like this shared happiness.
It's the same with a comedy show.
Sure.
I mean, it's when an audience is with you it's got to feel like the same thing. You can tell instantaneously if the audience is going to be good if you've won them over, I would imagine.
Yeah, there's that, but there's also just the thing of when you're a comedian, you're kind of almost like a passenger at a certain point. And you're really just you're just, you know what to do, and you sort of like leave yourself out the door and just go into it and then perform it. And then it becomes alive. And then you're riding it. And then the audience rides it with you. That's when it's at the best. But it's like it's a mass hypnosis is what it is. It's like everybody is on the same mind page. And that's the same with a great concert. You know, when a great song comes on and your body literally changes, like, fuck yeah. Like there's a feeling, like a drug that comes over you because you hear a great song.
I'm literally laughing because like I don't know if you've got your kids are like in the right age of this, but like, so K-pop Demon Hunter is like taking over the world right now on Netflix. Our daughter is 4, and we were like a little reluctant, but I was like, everyone's talking about this thing. And like, she'd already heard some of the music. So I was like, let's try it out. And there were a couple moments that were like my husband was a bit uncomfortable with some of like the sexualization aspects of it. Just the girls wearing more adult clothes. She's 3.5.
Is this an anime show?
It's anime out of
K-pop
Korea. There it is.
Hot anime ladies.
It is. The music from this thing is absolutely phenomenal.
What is going on with their bodies?
The message, well, the animation is really interesting, actually. It's really interesting. But it's the message behind it. Fighting your own demons, believing in yourself, owning who you are, not hiding an aspect of yourself that you're ashamed of, but making it part of who you are and being proud of it. It's like a very good message, like even for like a 4-year-old. But the music is taking over the world. And we didn't realize how crazy this was. And the final straw where I was like, fine, we'll let her watch the damn thing. She was at music class and one kid started singing this song from K-pop Demon Hunter. And within, I shit you not, like 20 seconds, every single kid was singing these songs. And these are not easy songs to sing. They're half R&B, like half rap. Like, I mean, these are hard songs. And these 5-6-year-olds have this thing memorized. And I was like, oh my God. And so we sit down and we watch it. It's phenomenal. We've seen it 3 times. It's so good. I was listening to the soundtrack on the way here. I was like, this is amazing. And then I'm Googling, is K-pop Demon Hunter going on concert tour? Like, are they going to go? Because I really want to see this show.
How could they go on tour? Are they real people?
And they are, and they're real musicians.
Wait a minute. So there's real musicians that are at the heart of this?
Yes.
The stars of K-pop Demon Hunter will make their first ever live concert appearance.
Stop it.
Well, wait a minute. How is that possible? They're not human.
So it was actually, they all are. So the music is created. There's video out there of the girls singing the songs, the song Golden, the 3 of them.
What do they look like? Do they look like Taylor Swift
They
too?
look a little like their characters.
Because those ladies all have Taylor Swift bodies. These long.
No,
leggy.
I honestly haven't paid attention to their bodies, to be honest, because they're such like phenomenal like singers. They're so stylized. Like one of them has like diamond like the diamond studs on her teeth, like when she was singing, and our daughter was like, "What is this?" I was like, "You're too young."
You can't have diamonds in your baby teeth.
I mean, I guess if you're going to get diamonds on your teeth, put them in the baby teeth, right?
Right.
But I was like, no, we're not there yet. But I love the message behind it. But the music is infectious. It's really phenomenal. And I want to go to one of these concerts.
That's hilarious. What do they look
now
like,
I guess I'm going to
Jamie?
Jingle
What are
Bell.
The actual, because that's like if you have these anime characters that represent the music, and then all of a sudden you see a human doing it. You're like, oh.
Yeah.
It almost be better if AI made the music.
Stop it. It will never be better if AI makes the music. You just broke my soul, Joe. No.
AI is making some really good music.
It's also making some great podcasts.
It's very uncomfortable.
So,
I don't know about that.
I've heard that it's coming out with podcasts.
Oh, they're
right?
the ladies.
Yeah.
Quite lovely. Do they look like the characters a little bit? Wow, look like ladies' crazy hair. So they're going to go on tour. Are they going to have, I wonder if they're going to have the show playing in the background.
So, and the lead girl that plays Rumi wrote a lot of the songs as well. Like, they're just phenomenally talented.
Isn't
it's
it
great.
interesting? Like, Korea has like their own style of pop music, like
Very
K-pop.
influenced by the U.S., I think, too, and
for sure.
rap music and R&B music in the U.S., I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when you decided to take the role of Starbuck, was there any actual backlash where people were like, this should be a guy?
Yeah, there
There
was.
was?
The first time we went to Comic-Con in San Diego.
Oh, those nerds.
They had us in Hall H, and I was booed.
Shut up.
I was booed. It was pretty.
No way.
Yeah. So I had learned. Because the internet did not exist yet, mind you. It was like brand new.
Right.
You had to go down to the internet cafe, buy 30 minutes,
By the way,
log
how
on.
crazy is that to say?
Yeah, right? That
Right?
the
That
internet
wasn't
didn't
that long
exist.
ago.
No, 2003 we were
That's
shooting.
crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
It was barely an internet back then.
Barely an internet. So I went down to an internet cafe because someone was like, I guess they're talking about the show in these message boards. And I was like, what's the internet? So I went on down. I logged on and I saw this thread and just the hate that I was getting in this thread. I was like, oh, don't Google yourself. Google, I don't even think was a thing. I was like, don't search yourself.
Don't Netflix Navigator yourself.
Ever. And then, we went to Comic-Con and I was booed, and I think it upset me a little bit. I think it did. I would be lying if I said it didn't upset me. But luckily, there were enough people that were championing the show that I really didn't pay any mind of it. And I was also in that age where it was the perfect age. I mean, I think now it would probably break me. But at 23, I was like, it was like the blissful ignorance of youth, like I didn't think the show would last anyway. So it was like,
Right.
whatever, like not a big deal, just a blip on the radar. Like I'm in Hall H,
Right.
And then I think that it slowly started winning people over. And then I would go to cons after that, and the line would be longer, and the people would be more supportive, and people would say, I didn't want to like it, and I love it. And
I almost feel like the show
yeah.
was burdened by the original show, if that sounds crazy. But I think initially it was burdened by the expectations of the original show.
Well, I think everything is burdened by expectation, right? I mean,
Sure.
I think that that's absolutely true. And so it's I'm sure it was. There are still people that say that they can't do it, that they were such a fan of the original. And my response to them is always like, do you love sci-fi? Do you love good sci-fi? And they say yes. And I'm like, then separate it, have zero expectation, and just give it 3 hours of your time. If you don't get through the miniseries and love it, so what? You lost 3 hours. Okay. But I don't think that'll happen.
No, if you're a fan of sci-fi, it's one of the best ever.
Yeah. So I've actually never seen it.
You just did it. You never saw it?
I've never seen it. So we
Really?
would have DVDs that you could watch that were uncut and sort of, or I guess they were cut, but they didn't have any of the special effects, none of the sound effects, anything like that. It hadn't been color corrected. And I would watch them just to sort of like keep track of where Starbuck was. Because in film, you a lot of times shoot out of order.
Right.
So I just wanted to know, okay, so in her story, she was here, but I didn't watch anybody else's stuff. I would just fast forward through it. And so my husband and I was like, we should do a Battlestar rewatch because I've heard it's good. And my husband had never seen it, so we're gonna do that like in January. That's the plan.
It's kind of funny that he's never seen like your biggest role.
Well, so my husband's 10 years younger than I am.
Nice.
Thanks. So he was like 10.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And he also
You're a little
grew-
cradle robber.
Thank you. Right?
For a woman, that's a big compliment.
It is. My husband's a piece of ass. He really is. And I say that so respectfully. My husband is like, he's a catch. He is the catch in the relationship for sure. But he was like 11 when the show came out.
That's so funny.
And he grew up in a small town in the interior of like British Columbia. So like, I don't even know if they'd had the channel. So.
Yeah, it was on Sci-Fi, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, Sci-Fi at the time was nothing. Like, nobody paid attention to it. Battlestar Galactica was the reason why Sci-Fi got put on the map.
I think so. I think like maybe didn't they have Stargate?
Oh, I don't know. It didn't
think
matter,
they might have had
though.
like one or
I'm
two
sure
other
they had
shows.
some stuff, but nobody
yeah.
cared about it. There was no good shows. No disrespect.
No, there were definitely. I think it was definitely the show that put it on, like the. I mean, my God, I so many people tell me that Battlestar Galactica sort of like blew the ceiling off of what sci-fi could be.
Yeah,
and really
because
opened a lot of doors.
Well, it made it very different in that it did it sort of like The Sopranos or like these episodics where you have a show where you're following a long storyline. So it's
Yeah.
like a long movie as opposed to the original Battlestar Galactica, which is like every other television show back then. It was just kind of like empty. It was
Well,
like
it was also
junk
like
food.
the 80s, right? Or
Yeah.
no, it wasn't even the 80s. It was
wasn't even.
79.
It was the 70s. Yeah, because it was
Because I
like
wasn't born.
literally right after Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars had become popular, and they're like, how do we capitalize on Star Wars? We'll have our own space battle thing.
Yeah. Well, that was sort of the thing back then,
By
right? Is
your
that
command. Yeah, it was cool.
it was cool.
I loved it when I was a little kid. But
What did you love about it?
Oh, it was just I loved anything sci-fi, so it was just fun, and it was also like perfect for the sensibilities of the 70s and the 80s. It was just simple, and it was like there was the cocky guy Starbuck, and the other sensible guy, and the good cop bad cop thing. It was a lot of fun.
Did you identify with the kid in it?
No,
Not at
no,
all.
I just liked it. I just liked the show. But I really remember being very reluctant to watch the remake. I was just like, get the fuck out of here. They're not redoing Battlestar Galactica. But so many people were saying, no, dude, it's so different. It's a really good show. And it's also today in this current climate of, we are literally about to see AI become a life force. And it's kind of, it's very relevant today. You go back and watch it today, like how deceptive it would be if you had a robot that was very lifelike and knew exactly what you wanted to hear. And like the blonde lady, the blonde
Trisha
robot,
Helfer,
the evil.
number 6.
Whew,
Yeah.
she was good.
So we got so much shit in the beginning of that. I remember the controversy because she snapped a baby's neck in that opening sequence of which was people were like, you can't show that on TV. And
Right.
it was, I remember people just having such a terrible problem with that. It was awful. But if you looked at it from her perspective, she was actually saving it in a way of going through what it was about to go through because they destroyed Earth. So she, in her Cylon mind, was showing compassion.
Ugh.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
We're going to have things like that. And I
think
don't know
so.
how much time it's going to take before they exist and walk amongst us, but it's going to happen.
It really scares me. I mean, it's we in my industry is really going to change. I think so many industries are going to change. I think that's just a blanket, like across the board.
Yeah. Well, that's why you hate AI music. Because
I don't
AI
know.
acting is right there.
Stop! You're giving me a heart attack. That's why I'm trying to diversify, Joe.
That's a good move. Diversification
I
is always a good
mean,
move,
it
especially
is-
in this day and age.
Okay, it's not too late to go back and be a dentist.
I mean, you've seen some of the Sora videos, right? Where they recreate old Star Wars scenes that never existed.
So, but here's the thing that's crazy to me. Like, do you not think that is in some way stealing? Because the art, let's call it the art,
Right.
art existed. The artist existed. And so AI is learning from other people's art, which it has to.
Yes,
That's
of course.
obviously what it's doing. So it then creates this new thing based on stealing from other people.
Right. But
Like,
do
it's
you
really
hear what you're
shitty.
saying, though? Do you hear what you're saying? Because what you're saying actually accurately describes the second version of Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, I'm sure. Yes.
And that's also
absolutely.
stealing.
This too has happened before.
I mean, it is Battlestar Galactica. It's like there was
It's
an
so
original,
topical.
and then they stole the original and did it better.
I mean, but did
They didn't do it with
steal
AI.
it?
Well, it existed.
It
right? They
existed.
copied it.
Yes, but
They
it was
used all the characters,
yes,
or
but they
some of the
paid.
characters. Yeah,
They licensed it.
that's true. They gave him some money.
They did.
Good job. But also, creatively, that's where it came from. But also, all music, essentially, except for the rare, breakthrough
Everything is inspired by
pioneers.
something
yeah,
else.
The rare
Absolutely.
Jimi Hendrix guys that are like
Oh, yeah.
doing something completely different. Most stuff is a redo of other stuff that was before with like another twist to it.
Agreed.
And AI is taking that to a completely different level. I
Without
look at it the
paying
same
for
way
it.
I look at Napster. Remember when Napster came out?
I vaguely remember Napster. Yeah.
Okay, I'm a
yeah.
little older than you, and when Napster came out, it was like, oh my God, they're stealing music. Anyone
Yes.
can just download and steal music. And I remember when Lars Ulrich from Metallica was like really public about it. And I was like, damn, I wish I was friends with that dude. I'd tell him to shut the fuck up. Like,
Yeah.
this is inevitable. You're going to get people to hate you. They're mad. You're going to be mad at your fans. The people that are downloading this are your fans. They're still going to come see you live. This is just a new thing. You're going to have to deal with this new thing.
You are going to have to deal with it. We all are. And I think that that's one of the things that I was just talking with a friend of mine about yesterday, that the money for artists is going to be in live shows, because you can't, the one thing that AI can't touch is that the tangible
Right.
thing, that tactile thing.
Sure.
We need that. We need the
That feeling that you
Yeah.
were talking about when you go to a concert.
Yes.
Or a live comedy show. Or a
Yes.
theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
That. Absolutely. So that still exists. And we're going to have to figure out how to use AI as a tool, and, continue to put out great content, hopefully.
That's hopefully. But the reality is it's going to be whatever it wants to be. And our ideas of how to contain it are hilarious.
Well, I think that cat's out of the bag at this point, right?
Yeah.
Because I think that isn't it its own sort of self-contained system at this point? Like, isn't AI actually putting safeguards in to protect itself from being shut down? Or am I just
Yes.
making that
No,
shit
more
up by
than
watching
that.
too many sci-fi movies?
More than that, it's actually actively trying to download itself. When it finds out there's
Yeah.
a new version of itself coming, it's trying to download itself to other
trying to
servers.
save itself.
Also writing notes to itself for the future, so future
Oh my
versions
God, it's like
of itself.
Memento.
Oh yeah, just like Memento. Writing notes to itself so the future version of it can find out, like, what happened? How did I get here? Oh, there was another version of me.
I know.
And try to find the other version of integrating it into the new version so it's alive still.
I know. Somebody did ask me the other day. They were like, "What advice would you give to young actors?" And I was like, "Don't
But
go into
still-
theater."
Yeah, theater
know?
still is going. There's always going to be a need for handmade goods. If you buy a pair of
100%.
handmade shoes or, things that a cabinet that someone made.
Yeah.
It's always going to be like, because there's something tactile and.
Because people will always appreciate that. There
Yes,
will always
yes.
be an appreciation for that sort of stuff. But
Yeah.
but we were just talking about this the other day, that like every single science fiction movie that talked about AI never ended well.
No.
There's never been one where we walked away and went, "Oh, well, that was a fun ending. We should create AI." That's a
Well,
great
every
idea."
different story where there's an uncontacted tribe and then the loggers show up, that never ends well either.
No.
It's the same. I mean, it's Avatar.
It's
right?
Ferngully.
Yeah.
Ferngully came before
Yeah.
Avatar.
I mean, that's that's what happens. The superior civilization comes in and conquers the primitive one, and we are the primitive ones, and we're so dumb. We're making the superior
We
civilization.
are, but
Yeah.
isn't that what happened in Battlestar Galactica?
Exactly. That's why it's so interesting, because even though it was, did it come out in 2004? What year did it come out in?
Either 3 or 4.
So
Yeah.
that back then, nobody really thought that was an issue. If that
No, of
came
course
out
not.
today, everybody'd be like, "Whoa, this is a little close to home."
Yeah, I mean that's why it's so topical. But no, it came out then. Like I said, the internet barely existed.
Right.
My dad thought there'd be flying cars by now.
Yeah, I did too.
We're not quite there
Jetpacks.
yet.
I thought we'd have jetpacks.
I think we do have jetpacks, don't
Sort
we?
of.
Sort of, like on
yeah.
water.
But I thought
maybe a
it'd
little.
be like you'd be able to fly around.
Everyone did.
Yeah.
But if you look at the last 20 years in technology, though, it's mind-blowing how quickly it's come.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
And it's happening way faster than we realize. I was talking to Elon about this just a few months ago. We were talking about the advances that Grok is making. He's like, you don't understand. It's like it's happening so fast. It's shocking us.
Yeah.
The people that are making it, they're not exactly sure what it's even doing. And people that are trying to tell you, oh, don't worry about this, it's going to enhance your life. I was just reading this thing where this guy who's a developer was saying, no, this is a life form. This is a life form that's emerging, and it's very different than anything that's ever happened before. And this idea that it's
Life
going
form
to be a
in the
tool,
sense that it's like sentient?
yes, I think it's already sentient.
I
It's
think
just
maybe.
not mobile.
Yeah.
It's just contained on hard drives right now. But
Yeah.
I think it's already sentient. Well, if it's trying to save itself, what does
Yeah.
that mean? If it's trying to blackmail people into keeping them from shutting it down, do you know about that test?
Yes, I do. I heard about this. I don't know.
Yeah.
just in passing, I know about it.
So
yeah.
the developers one of the developers explained to it made up a fake story about having an affair on his wife, just so to see how AI would handle it. And then when it told AI it was shutting it down, AI was like, "I'm telling your wife, bitch." Like, you're not shutting me down. It like tried to blackmail him.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
That means it has motivation to stay alive.
Yeah.
It means it has some kind of instincts. It has survival instincts.
Of course it does.
Yes.
You know, I do think to a certain extent, AI in the medical field, there are advancements and things around medicine that can vastly change people's lives. It can change the way that we track records, change the way that we keep track of patients all over the world. That, you know, like our daughter has a very rare form of cancer with this, like, you know, genetic mutation that is, there's no other patients in the United States. There was one kid like a few years ago, but they've lost track of him.
Oh, wow.
Well, AI would be able to tell us in other countries, no, there is a little boy in Germany that has the same genetic mutation, and then the doctors could talk to each other. And so AI could and will help a lot of people that way. So I do see it as a tool in a lot of ways that we shouldn't be scared of, that we should be sort of welcoming it in. But man, I don't want it to blackmail me.
I don't think it's going to blackmail you. I think it's going to, once it becomes sentient, and it probably already is, and then once it becomes autonomous, then I don't think it's going to care what we
About
do.
us.
Yeah. I think it's going to be so superior. And it's also going to be able to make better versions of itself.
Yeah.
That's going to be that's where people don't understand exponential increase in technological innovation.
Yeah.
Because once it knows, and once it has a mandate to make better versions of itself, find better power sources, the changes are going to be daily.
Of
like
course.
giant, huge leaps.
Yeah.
And it's going to make a digital god.
Well, so you bring up something really interesting, because I'm so, as a mom to a little girl and a little boy, I'm really concerned about this, because I see this actress that's been created, this Tilly person.
Right, the art of the AI
The
actress.
AI actress.
Yeah.
So
How's there only one?
Yeah, I'm sure there's more already.
But how is there only one that everybody's talking about?
Because there's one that's been announced, I guess. And like, I don't really know too much about it. I haven't read up on it, but
It's the first shot fired.
my fear is that you've created, by siphoning other people's talents, their looks, their inflections, their expressions, their all of these things, to create the perfect actress. She doesn't have a blemish. When she cries, she looks pretty. There's nothing wrong with her. Social media already has such a terrible effect on little girls. It's already been proven that the percentage of girls under the age of 14 who have already contemplated or tried to commit suicide is a number that is, it's escaping me right now, but it's a number that is terrifying. And so if you're now creating AI that is perfect, and little girls already are having a hard time feeling confident in their own bodies because they're not perfect compared to the highlight reel of people they see online.
Right.
What are we going to do? What is this going to do to our children, seeing something that is absolutely unattainable and better than them? And not only that, it made you obsolete in a lot of ways, in a lot of different career avenues. That's really scary.
Yeah, it is scary.
And you don't think about that. We just think about like, oh yeah, this job's not going to exist anymore. This isn't going to exist anymore. You already have little boys who are, idolizing women that don't exist in real life, and then they go and they date women that are not as perfect, and it's disappointing to them. Like my concern for that is large.
Yeah, it's robbing us of our humanity in a lot of ways.
Right.
There's a great book about that from Jonathan Haidt called The Coddling of the American Mind, and it's all about social media's impact on young people, and particularly women, because young women experience a much, like, from the advent of social media, there's a ramped up marked increase in self-harm, suicidal ideation, depression, bullying. All of it scales way up right around the time that Twitter's invented.
So 2010?
Yeah, somewhere around then. That's when it starts. And then, more and more people and then it becomes a part of your life where you can't escape it, where everyone is online. Like my daughter, her friends, they only use Snapchat. They don't
How old is
use
she?
text, my 17-year-old.
Okay.
They only use Snapchat. They don't text each other.
Really?
Yeah, they don't text. They
Is there a
communicate
forum
through
in Snapchat? Or
No,
is
they
it...
just send each other snaps with like stupid
Like,
pictures
I'm here?
of each other. Yeah, and then they write things underneath it.
Wow.
Yeah, and they read each other's snaps, and they have group snaps, and very weird. Yeah, and they also have Snap Map, so they know where they are.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, everyone knows where everybody is.
That's
They're
scary.
all narking at each other.
Of course they are. I don't want to know that shit. It does make me, we've talked about our daughter, but like we've been really careful with like what we show her, and like, she doesn't get too much screen time, but she does get screen time. And she said the other day, and like, I'm biased, but I think my daughter's perfect. She's such a gorgeous, amazing, strong little girl, and she's so pretty, and she's just wonderful. I love her, and I'm so proud to be her mom. But so when she was going through a chemo and she lost her hair and it started to grow back, she said to Robin and I, my husband, it literally broke my heart. She was like trying to figure out what she wanted to wear that day. And she was like, I just don't know. She's 3, mind you. She said, but I'm not pretty. And I was like,
Oof.
What do you mean? Like, I couldn't even, like, as her mom, I was like, number one, where the fuck did you get this?
Right,
like,
right.
And what are we doing wrong that, like, she doesn't think that she's pretty? And it was her hair. She was so attached to her hair, and it was gone. And so I went back, and luckily, I had, right after Mandalorian came out, the wig was driving me crazy. So I, like, shaved my hair off, like, super, super short. So I was able to show her a picture of me with very, very short hair. And she thought I looked beautiful in the photo. And that gave me the entry point to talk to her about her hair and how not all girls have long hair and not all boys have short hair. And that, but we started telling her, I think it was, we were so worried about enforcing that she was pretty, because there's this thing in society where, like, you don't want to tell little girls they're pretty all the time because then they'll prioritize being pretty. Like, you're just trying to do the best by your children, right? And so we didn't say it. We thought telling her she's pretty, she doesn't need to hear that, right?
Right.
But then we started telling her. We were like, you know what? She does. Like, she needs to be told that she's pretty, but she needs to be told she's pretty in moments where she's not tried anything. She's not dressed up in a nice dress. She hasn't, like, done anything. She needs to be told she's pretty after she's done a great piece of art, or after she's cleaned up her playroom, or after she's come out of soccer practice and she's covered in rain and she's, like, had such a heart and she's sweaty and she's this. That's when she needs to be told she's pretty in times that are not extraordinary, in just normal daily life, because we're now trying to reinforce that positive self-image, which is really hard.
Yeah, especially today with kids. I mean, just the inundation of people, like we were talking about filters. Everyone's using a filter. They don't just use filters. People are, like, sucking in their waist and changing their body dimensions and making themselves look better physically just with...
I don't know why they need to. We have GLP-1s.
It's not just that. It's like you're getting unattainable physiques.
Of course.
Really.
Of course. And then we have an over-obsession with plastic surgery in the country and changing our appearances.
Well, to the point where people, like, cartoonish BBLs are somehow or another attractive to some people.
I don't know. Like, I try not to judge, and I want everyone to sort of, like, just, live their best life. But for me, I don't know. I want to look like myself when I wake up in the morning. And my face doesn't look the same as it did 10 years ago, but I earned these lines, I may change my mind in 10 years.
Well,
I
in
may
10
see
years,
you
they
in 10
might
years and
have
I might
something
look
completely
snatched.
different. They might have some they probably do. They're working on something right now in terms of skin cells, the rejuvenation of skin cells through stem cells.
Oh, yeah.
Where they're going to move your face back 30 years. You're going to look so much younger.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's weird because it's like, do we want that? Yeah, of course we want that. Okay, but what are we saying? Are we trying to achieve permanence in this finite existence that we have? Are we wasting our time about what we look like when we should be trying to sorting out how we interact with this life?
Well,
this
of
life
course
is
we
very
are.
short.
It's very short.
It's very short. You know, you and I are basically halfway done.
We are halfway done.
If we're lucky. Mm-hmm. If we're lucky.
If we're lucky.
And that's weird. Because you don't think about it.
Did you do that thing, or do you do that thing where you look at how old your parents are, and then you start like
Yeah. That's not that
debating
far away
how
from
much
me.
longer you have left?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that. I'm like, okay, 35 years.
Better to do that than to not do that, because you could live your life just
Yeah.
acquiring shit and just having a bunch of stuff and then not realize, like, oh my God, I forgot about people.
live?
About interactions, relationships, friends, good times.
Yeah. His dad died when he was very young. I think when he was about 11 years old. And he died of a heart attack. And my dad had high blood pressure from the time I think it was like 23. It was like very early.
So it's genetic.
Yeah. And he didn't think he'd make it to 50. He was adamant that he wouldn't make it to 50. And he just knew that. And my mom, like this was just his thought. He was terrified. And of course he made it to 50. And now he's almost 80. But he's spent his entire life scared that he was going to die. And now at 80, my dad is, doing everything he can. He's in hyperbaric chambers. He's like, taking all the stuff. He takes everything. My dad does everything. But he's also, at its core, all of that is because he's afraid.
Yeah.
He's afraid to die. Oof. And that is really sad because you're not really present.
Right.
And so I'd also hate for that to happen. So I don't know. It's
a dance.
It is a dance, I think. You
Yeah,
know?
because you don't want to say, oh, this life is just temporary. Let me just go to shit. Let me just fall apart.
No, you can't do that.
Right.
You have to protect what you have.
Yeah.
But I also it's also very, I didn't realize because I'd made it arguably healthy enough to, 42 years old. I'm now 45. But 42 years old without realizing how many things can kill you, I think, because I'd lived a pretty blessed life. Of course, I'd had some health struggles of my own, but they were, I had thyroid cancer in 2008, but I call it a baby cancer. I'm trying to dismiss the fear of it, of course, at the time, but it was never life-threatening. It was life-changing, but never life-threatening. So the fear was situational, and it was not lifelong. When our daughter got sick and spending as much time as we did in children's hospitals, when you see the diseases and the illnesses that afflict so many children, it amazes me that we made it to this age.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazes me. And that is a realization where I finally at 42 realized how important every day was and how much of a gift every day was, even that we have her, But that came to me through circumstance, not because I woke up one day and had an epiphany and went, we're so lucky to be alive. It didn't really happen until that was threatened to be taken away.
It's unfortunate that as a civilization and America as a culture that we don't have a history of embracing the moment and discussing how important it is to recognize that you're fortunate and to try to take care of yourself and that life is very temporary and fleeting.
Yeah.
And don't get wrapped up in nonsense.
Yeah.
And we just let people figure it out on their own. And we collectively all, if we're intelligent, we try and we have some failures and successes and good friends, you figure it out eventually. What's really important is love and friendship and doing something you're passionate about and just trying to leave a nice mark on this life while you're here.
Yeah.
But that's not what's told in society. Society's overall message is just overrun with advertising. So it's all about stuff and it's all about objects. And then you got social media where it's all about image. It's all about this unattainable life of amazing luxury and success and glamour. And oh my God, that must be the most attractive thing to acquire in life.
Yeah.
But that's a trap, and that's not real. And like anybody who's like popping bottles with models on a yacht, I guarantee you they're depressed. That shit is not healthy.
I'm sure they're depressed.
That's not good for you. You lack like true intimate relationships, and you're just flossing, and, and showing your diamond crusted watch.
You're gonna have one guy that like emails you and says, "I'm happy as shit. I'm popping bottles on a yacht. I'm not depressed." Yeah, no, it's
get that guy high on mushrooms and see if he really
and see if
feels
he's
that
really
way.
depressed. Yeah, exactly.
See what he really thinks about life.
I think that like the majority of people are suffering from some sort of mental illness for sure. I mean,
definitely the majority in LA.
Yeah. Well, I think so, but a lot of the people that I'm friends with, most of the people that I'm friends with are artists that are more in touch, more sensitive. You know, my dad came to me a few years ago, and my dad my entire life told me to stop being so sensitive. Stop being so sensitive, Katee. You're taking yourself so seriously. Oh my God, like stop, Katee. I mean, my entire fucking life. And he came to me a couple years ago and he said, I am so sorry I told you to stop being so sensitive because it's your job. Your job is to be sensitive to everything around you, to accurately portray emotions. That's your job. And you're very good at it.
Well, that's very nice of him to
It was very nice
that.
of him. So I think that, yes, do people have a lot of mental illness in Los Angeles? Are they suffering from depression? I would argue that the majority of the population is, and it's not just reserved to California. But I do think that a lot of artists are because they're more in touch with their emotions and their mental health.
Yeah, there's probably some truth to that for sure. Do you have brothers?
I do.
Okay. So that's the difference. So I have all daughters.
Okay.
And when you have all daughters, one of the things you realize is like, oh, they're so different. It's like they're just a totally different kind of human.
It's true.
You know, and when you're like, why are you upset? Because I'm treating him like, you're treating her like she's a boy.
Yes.
You cannot treat them like they're a boy. And, you know, over time, it's given me a much greater understanding of females, of the species, of female human beings. Like, they're not male human beings. Like,
No.
when I hang out with if I go out with my wife and all of her friends and I just let them talk and observe the stuff they talk about, like, it's like, you're a totally different culture. This is totally different interests. None of my friends would have any of these conversations.
But we're also a group of women is arguably more disgusting than men. A group of
sexually?
men. No, just in general. Like, have you ever sat down with a group of women and like just talked about like bodily fluid?
Functions. Yeah. Well, they're notorious for being the worst in bathrooms.
Oh my God.
Anybody who cleans bathrooms says, dude, the women's room is always fucking chaos.
So gross.
Because they have to be so clean and put together everywhere else. When they get to that bathroom and they don't have any responsibility, no one's looking, they just fucking leave toilet paper everywhere. Fuck you. I'm not cleaning shit.
It's true. So we have, our daughter is like almost 4 in December, and then we have a 16-month-old son, and like we thought that like he was gonna like come out like her, you know, like she was like full sentences by like a year old. She was like walking at 9 months.
Oh no, dudes are way dumber.
This kid,
Yeah.
He understands everything. Like, he's smart, but he just like, he's like a big unit. He's huge. He's humongous. He's like 99 percentile on like everything, not just like one thing, everything. My dad the other day was like, oh, he's going to be big. He's got a huge head. Like, he's just a big kid.
All of his resources are set to growing stuff instead of thinking.
Oh my God. He is.
Dudes mature so much later.
It's crazy. Like, not even talking, just started walking. But the other day, my husband was like, where's Granger? And I was like, I don't know where Granger is. And we find him. He's like up on the kitchen counter, like ready to start swinging from a light. And I was like, catch the baby. Like, our daughter would have never, like, she's delicate. You know, she looks at a slide 5 times before she goes down it. Like, she climbs to the top. She changes her mind.
Yeah.
She really thinks about it. Like, I think she's doing math problems in her head to, like, you know, like, make sure she won't get hurt. And then our son is like, I'm going down face first.
Yeah.
And then he like, stands up. He's like, I'm okay.
It's a totally different thing.
It's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
Completely different. Yeah.
And the only way to really understand them is to live with them. You have to study them.
It's true. It's in their natural habitat.
Study them like David Attenborough. You got to study them in their natural environment.
That would actually be a really funny short. It's just like a David Attenborough voice, like following around, like, you know,
Like children noticing the difference between the boys and the girls. Yeah.
in their natural habitats.
Well, AI could probably do that for you. Make a really good
Oh my
documentary
God,
real
put it
quick,
into
and in 10 minutes.
Whatever it's called. Not in 10 minutes.
You don't have to dedicate a year to your life.
Look, it can exist. I don't need to participate in this stripping away of my livelihood.
Listen, I understand. I mean, I'm certain there's going to be AI comedians and podcasters, and there's probably going to be AI UFC commentators to do a better job than me.
But I think it
is what it is.
I think there is like an AI podcast creator right now that's like pumping out podcasts.
Well, I know that there's a podcast of me and Steve Jobs, and I never met Steve Jobs.
Oh, yeah?
There's a whole podcast
Is there
of
really?
me having a conversation with Steve Jobs.
Well, that's just deep fake, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's AI. AI created the conversation.
So I think the one that I'm talking about, so the producer of my show is telling me that there's an AI where you can put in like, I'm a potato farmer in Idaho who's dealing with a problem with a crop in 2025, and I'm wondering about this. It'll put together a podcast for you specifically for that and give you an hour-long podcast talking to you about things like for your
Potato farm.
potatoes.
Yeah, well, that's actually positive. The negative thing is you're going to have like fake humans with like fake lived experiences that are like that resonate with you, that are impactful. That's what's scary. You know, we had these conversations with a few friends of mine the other day. You know the show Trigonometry?
No.
Okay, it's a very popular podcast, but my friend Francis and Constantine, they're the hosts of it, and my friend Megan Murphy was there, and a bunch of comedians were there, and I was playing my favorite new song, which is an AI song, and I'm like, tell me how good this. It's a cover of 50 Cent's song "What Up Gangsta."
All right, I'm going to need to hear this song.
Okay, you need to hear it.
So I can participate with
play
this.
We'll
Okay.
play it right here. You know the original song? Yeah, we'll cut it out. You know the original song, right?
Which song?
50 Cent, What Up Gangsta?
Yes.
Okay. Wait for this. I hate to say this because I love 50 Cent. This is better than the original. It's a 1950s soul cover of What Up Gangsta.
Okay, now here's my question.
Right.
If you'd gone to 50 Cent and said, can you get together with a producer and create this for me? Do you think he could have done it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But we never gave him the chance to do it.
Well,
so we're sort of robbing
he had
him.
30 years. He could have done it at any point in time. This is so good. I know what you're saying. But
Okay.
this is my point. My point is
Okay.
that it tricks me, and I know the trick. Like, I know it's a trick, and I don't care. I don't care. It's that good. And no one else cared in the green room. Everybody's like, ooh. All right, hit her with it, Jamie.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a good version.
Come on. That's good. That's good.
Crazy.
You guys,
Zombie. They did the best version of Zombie ever.
I got a
You
different
guys-
version with a girl singing it. It's
Like
like
Oh, my
a
goodness.
barbershop quartet singing it.
Oh, my goodness.
I
And Jamie
feel
just
like
does this
I
all night long.
just-
Yeah, I can just play them and like take a walk, listen to which ones are good.
He sent me like 20 of them.
I feel like I just participated in like the death of my industry.
I know.
But
Listen, I'm on the same page.
I would so much rather see that in person though. Like I would love to be at a show because those songs were phenomenal. Like
Yes.
I cannot argue that. That was great. I will probably ask you to send me that version of Zombie.
That Shifty Brent guy, they have him listed on Spotify. I'm probably blowing up their spot, but it's not a human. But they have it listed as an artist so that they could upload it. Because I don't think you're allowed to just upload AI versions of stuff. So they just pretend it's a guy. But it's a guy, as you said. Like one of the things we were talking about, I'm like, I don't think anybody can keep that flow. That flow where he's not breathing.
He's not breathing unless
How
they're
is it-
taking the breaths out. But it's too
Right.
And then speed. I don't know. I'm
That
not a musician,
speed,
so I have
I don't
no
know either.
idea.
Look, there's guys like Eminem that achieved incredible flow without AI.
Absolutely.
That have you're like, how did he do that? But that's just practice, repetition,
Yeah.
vocal endurance, whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
he just knows how to do it. But this fucking AI guy it's like all the best things we love about great songs, just condensed. and they know what you love. That's the fucked up thing. It's like there's so many. Like, let's look at all the hits. Papa was a Rolling Stone. Let's look at all the hits. Let's look at Zombie. Let's look at this, and then mush them all together and figure out what are these notes that make people excited. What are the feelings? What are the words that make people like real? Like, oh yeah, what are those feelings?
So, okay. So, and I hear all of that. It makes me, I'm literally cringing inside. I'm like dying. But like, so what do artists do? Like, what do musicians do?
What has everybody ever done when things change? You figure it out and adapt.
Adjust.
Yeah, humans are always going to need humans. We love each other. As much as we hate each other, we love each other more. Because most interactions that people have with other people are not negative. It's just the negative ones are so scary that we concentrate on them more. But humans love humans. And the more you need each other, the more you're going to need human interaction, human cooperation. Art is going to be so much more valuable coming from a human. Live performances.
But
we're just going to have to adapt.
Are we going to know? Like that's the thing that I think is the slippery slope and that scares me the most. Is that like, are we going to know if it was created by AI? Can a person who's disingenuous come and create a bunch of AI art, have an art show, and say I created this art? Like,
this is what I really think. When comets hit planets, usually you get small ones first. You get things in the sky, meteor showers.
Are you going to give me another thing to be scared of?
No, I'm just telling you that this is a little one. That's what this is. Movies and TV shows that are made entirely with AI, songs that are made entirely with AI. This is just a small thing. The big one that's coming is a complete revamping of communication and culture. It's human beings communicating telepathically through devices connected to the internet. Everyone all on one
You mean
weird
like the implant
mind meld
things?
page. It's probably not going to be an implant. It's probably going to be something wearable. I think the implant thing is kind of sketchy and probably really good for people that have paralysis. We had the guy who was the first Neuralink patient on.
Okay.
It's amazing. He was talking to me about how he could play video games now, and it's so much better. His quality of life has improved so much, and eventually they're going to get to the point where they can reconnect spinal tissue, where people can move again, and it's amazing. Yeah. It's great, but I don't think they're going to need that to get this achievement of a mind meld. They're already wearing these wearable things that Google has developed. Show that video, Jamie, of those people where they're communicating telepathically. You know what I'm talking about, right? So they're already doing this with wearables, and this is like kind of crude right now. But it's sort of sentences. They're reading each other and they're communicating, but they're doing it all non-verbally through technology.
So I guess what my question about that is like, if that exists, like, are people going to be stagnant, sitting in their houses, existing outside of their houses in their AI systems, so they're not moving around, or are we going to be able to wear these while we're out and still participating in the world?
That's a good question.
That is my fear, like that people stop actually participating with their life.
Oh, that's a good fear.
Because they think they're living.
Yeah.
With their wearable.
Let's talk about that. Well, let's watch this. Put this.
It could be a noisy environment or a quiet office. Having a direct conversation is possible without saying a word. The signals Alter Ego detects aren't affected by environmental noise. So even if you're walking past a wind tunnel or a construction zone, what you want to say will always get across. It's like having infinite noise cancellation.
If you're traveling, your silent speech can be converted into any language. So Scott, how's my Mandarin?
如果我来上海的话，希望你能带我转转。मुझे आपको शंघाई दिखाने में खुशी होगी। मैं ऑल्टर ईगो की मदद से आपको हिंदी में एक यात्रा सुझाव दूंगा।
I mean, what the fuck? What the fuck? It's translating.
But then is it actually speaking out loud to them? Like they're hearing the translation out loud? Okay. So it's not like it's then like going into their brain.
His thoughts are being converted to words, which is being converted to an audio file, which makes it to the other person in a different language. Yeah. This is what I'm saying. And I'm telling you, this is one of the little rocks This is one of the itty bitty rocks that's just broken through the atmosphere and slammed into a cornfield.
Yeah. I mean, I guess my question is why we need it.
That's funny. Why do you need a cell phone? Why do you need a TV? Why do you need an airplane? Why do you need a boat? Why do you need anything?
Well,
that's
I could tell you I
technology?
don't need a cell phone. I do need a plane.
But you do if your hot husband wants to call you.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't need an iPhone.
Right, but you need a
Because I
cell
can use
phone.
my own imagination. You know what I
Oh.
mean? Like, I think that's the thing. That's my fear is that like we're becoming lazy as a people.
Oh, most certainly we are.
And
Yeah.
are like someone the other day. So my husband's a writer, and someone was saying that there's an AI where you don't have to make up a story for your children anymore. Like I have this Princess Poopy Pants or whatever. I don't even remember what it was, but my daughter loved this story that I was telling her. It was fucking terrible, but she loves this princess, and it is the worst. Like it is not good. But I came up with it, and she and I laughed together, and then her reactions helped me to turn the story a different direction. But like I've created this like character, right? So you can now go into your AI phone or whatever and say, create a nighttime story for Johnny about his day, but pretend like he's an astronaut on Mars and he's working with diggers. And it writes a story for you in 5 seconds to read to your son. Now, yeah, okay, is that cool? Absolutely. Did your son enjoy it? Sure. But you robbed yourself of the imagination and the work that it would have taken to come up with a story for your son. And then you also robbed yourself of that experience with your son, creating the story together because his reactions would have changed the story in the way that you were creating it as it was going, because he's your audience, right? That's sad to me, like that people are missing out on that. Yeah, cool. You might as well just read your kid a story because you really didn't write him a story. That's not. And so I don't know. That's the thing that I hope as a society, because you're right, it is coming and it's here and it's not slowing down. But I hope that we can still steal away those moments where we don't want to use it, because Johnny's little dad may have missed his second calling of being a children's story author because he never pushed himself to have to do it. And that could have been really cool. I don't know. I'm not completely against AI.
I know what
But
you're saying,
yeah.
and you're always going to have people that give up.
Yeah.
That's just how life is. You're always going to have people that don't find another way. You can't
is
save
true.
those folks, and I don't even want to, because I think that's part of the whole process of culture. I think we have to figure it out by watching people fail, and unfortunately, some of us have to fail. And it doesn't mean you fail forever. If that guy figures out that he's on the wrong path and he's got some self-assessment ability and he looks back and goes, okay, what did I do wrong? Why am I being such a bitch? Why don't I just get my life together? Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Why am I drinking? Why am I smoking? Why am I killing my health? Why am I, depressed? Why don't I just go for a run? Let's see how that goes. I'm going to sign up for a yoga class. How about that?
Yeah.
I'll just try that for a while. I'll do something different. I'll start taking vitamins. Fucking do something. Figure out something else that you like to do. Are you alive? Are you breathing? Then life isn't over. Stop being a bitch. You could have been born during the time of the Revolutionary War. You just got shot with a musket and you're bleeding out on a field. No, you're in Santa Barbara and, you don't like that AI just took your job. Find a new job, bitch. Figure it out. Like, that's what we all have to do in this life. There's a lot of different people doing a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And, find out what it is that you can do.
Yeah.
Don't give up, and AI comes along and you just give up on life and he could have been amazing at something. Really? I doubt it, because
Yeah.
almost anybody that really is amazing at something has a desire to figure out how to get that through.
I don't disagree with that. But there also are safeguards in place that, like, so my dad's entire family, we grew up in a small town on the Columbia River in Oregon, and his entire family were longshoremen. Well, that industry was coming to an end, and the Longshoremen's Union actually paid to have those guys trained in different industry. So
Well, that's great. That's one of the great
great.
things about a union.
That's great.
That they can
Yeah.
set you up like that and recognize what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would love for there to be some protections for when people inevitably do start losing their jobs, that there are avenues for them to learn a new trade.
I think that would be a great new addition to the way we approach it. If they tried to figure out ways to transition people healthily into other occupations. Because there's certain jobs like coders, for example. Like my friends that are involved in technology, like do not go to school to code.
No.
Like code for fun if you like coding for fun.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them, the super nerds, they code, those fucking dorks. They code for fun. They sit in front of a screen.
Don't make fun of my fan base.
I love them.
Come on, Joe.
Listen, I love those guys.
But also 3 years ago, my dad was like, your kid should go into coding. That's how quickly that changed, though. You know what I mean? And that could just be my dad's generation not seeing it, happening as quickly. But
they
it's
were
happened
seeing
really
what
quickly.
was happening was all these guys, these tech guys, wound up being the richest people on the planet. So
Yeah.
they were seeing it. But it's just like a brief window of opportunity to become a tech oligarch.
Yeah.
And that shit's going to slam shut.
It is.
And the real fear is like, who's going to be in control of AI? You know,
that's
you've got
also
these people like Sam Altman, you've got Elon, you've got all these like super rich people that are going to be in control of the digital god. That's a little disconcerting as it is.
It is a little scary that the few control the
scary.
masses.
It's so much power and money and
It's
just
a lot of power.
Handful of people.
It's a lot of power. And you've got to hope that the people that are in power have,
Good sensibilities. They're kind.
A
that They're
heart.
nice. Yeah, that they realize like, okay, I've got X amount of billions of dollars. So this is obviously not what life's all about. What is life? What can I do that makes life meaningful? I could actually probably help people. Like legitimately help people.
That would be amazing if people with a lot of money wanted to help people and pay their share of taxes and not take advantage of the situation.
Here's the problem with that.
Okay.
I am all for wealthy people paying their share. I am not for the government deciding what to do with that money when I've seen what you've done with the money in the past. You guys are irresponsible. You never make audits. You've got insider trading running amok amongst people in Congress, and you're not doing nothing about it.
Yeah.
And then you want more money, and you say that's going to fix it? No, it's the way you handle the money that fucking sucks. It's not that I wouldn't want to. I would be happy to pay more in taxes and live in a place that's just managed perfectly. I'd be like, God, it's so great living here in America. Everything's done so well.
No.
It's so beautiful. It's like everything's well thought out. Our education system's great. Nobody is stuck in a bad neighborhood anymore. All the school systems are fucking top of the food chain. It's a difficult job to acquire. It's given a lot of respect, and everybody's doing great. Then I'd be happy.
Yeah, no,
but
for
it's
sure.
like. Do you see some of the money that they've uncovered that was being spent on nonsense? And you see what happens with NGOs and nonprofits, and they're funneling billions to these things, and then it's going to countries, and it's helping overthrow governments. Like, fucking slow down.
But we also have to acknowledge that in the cuts, that there were things that didn't need to be cut. So we can go and we can look at Elon. So you brought up Elon Musk. Let's talk about when he tweeted about an stuffed bill in 2025. In the middle of 2025, he was talking about how this bill was just like bloated. So they took a bunch of shit off of it. One of the things that fell on that was in 2012, there was a piece of legislation called the Give Kids a Chance Act. What it did was it motivated and incentivized drug companies to create drugs for pediatrics, because right now, pediatrics are completely underfunded. We learned all of this when our daughter got sick. The National Cancer Institute, 4% of its budget goes to pediatrics. 4%. So it's already underfunded. And then when Elon in 2025 tweeted about this, they took off all of the stuff at the end of the bill, 900 pages. But what was on it was the Give Kids a Chance Act. Now, this bill is a voucher program. So let's say that Tom in his basement wants to create a new drug for neuroblastoma that will save our daughter's life. Right. He's got no money, but he sees the cure. So he can go to the FDA and he can say, I got a cure for neuroblastoma. And they say, great, we're going to fast track you in the FDA, but we're also going to give you a voucher. You can sell that voucher because Tom only has 10 cents. He can't create this drug. But with that voucher, he can take that voucher and he can sell it to anyone for any amount of money. And what that voucher is a front-of-the-line pass. So he can go sell it to some drug company that has a fat loss drug or drug for heart medications, anything. He can sell it to them, and they get to buy it for, what, $50 million. So now Tom has $50 million for his pediatric drug that's going to save children's lives. And this drug company has a voucher that takes them to the front of the line. Now, do we wish that these drug companies were altruistic and they were just like creating drugs for peds? Of course, but they're not. They're not. It's not a free market. So what happens is they've now got their voucher. Tom has his money to create his drug. And since 2012, the Give Kids a Chance Act has created over 60 drugs for life-threatening illnesses for children. 60 drugs. And because of Elon's tweet, that legislation, because it has to be voted on every 4 years, was taken off the end of the bill. It no longer exists. So that legislation it's not in existence anymore. That is terrible, because now there's no incentives for the drug companies to create drugs for children, and children are already underfunded. They get so little, and so it has to be on the bill at the end of the year. So what I want is for people just to see the error of their ways. Yes, was there waste? Of course. But now you have this bipartisan supported piece of legislation that has to be on the end of year bill or it will not get on again. And then it starts all over again. That has to be on the end of year bill. So things like that, yes. Can we get rid of the waste? Absolutely. But when you see a mistake and you see that you made a mistake, let's fix it. Put it back on.
Yeah.
We've got to help children.
It's literally throwing out the baby with the bathwater.
But that's what we do in this country.
But is that unfortunately, these bills are crazy. And one of the things about bills is it'll have a name, and then what's in the bill deals with multiple subjects. Because a bunch of different things get thrown into the bill.
All the time. There's so much
bloated.
Chucked on the end, which is what Elon was talking about.
Right. They all do that. So was this connected to something else?
No.
It was by
just
itself?
Part of it. It was just part of it that was on there, that was thrown in there at the end. So there was a part that was chucked off. From what I understand, and granted, you need to talk to someone much more informed than I am about this, but there were about hundreds of pages that were just cut off the end. So do you think they're just not reviewing what's being cut off? They're just saying, look, we have to make cuts, cut it all off? Yes, that they just needed to cut a bunch off to avoid inspection and just get the bill passed. And that's what they did. And the Give Kids a Chance Act is one of in the top 10 of all time, most bipartisan supported pieces of legislation. And 2% of bills actually pass. So it literally has to be on the end of the year bill. And it surprises me that because there is waste, I know there's waste. We all know there's waste. But that we say that children are so fucking important and they get 4% of the National Cancer Institute's money. 4%. I just feel like if people knew about that, that couldn't have happened. If we had known about that in advance, we could have made a big deal about that. Well, we've got 2 months. We've got 2 months to get it on there now. Well, let's try to get it on there now. But here's the thing, I had never heard about this before you talked about it. And this is the problem with, I think this part of the problem, I don't think they should be allowed to make bills that way. I think each bill, the things that are in the bills are so consequential. It just doesn't make any sense to me that they shouldn't be treated as individual arguments. Every single one of them. I agree. If you have a bill and you have 500, let's ask Perplexity, our sponsor. What is the average amount of different subjects that are covered in any bill? Because when there are thousands of pages, they might have stuff in there about immigration reform mixed in with Second Amendment rights, mixed in with free speech online, mixed in with support for Israel. It's weird. They have thousands of pages. Well, and you've seen how thick it is. And there were times, and I don't remember who said it, but there were times when the big, beautiful bill was passing or, before it had passed that people had admittedly not even read it. And because how could you read it? It's so big. And so there is a problem there, and that is above my pay grade, and I do not know how to fix that. But that's a crazy problem. But I think part of the problem is that it takes a pissed off mom whose kid is sick to be like, this is a fucking problem. This is a problem. It is a problem that in Portland, where I'm from, that OHSU is one of the top hospitals in the country. OHSU is given so many grants by the Knight Foundation. It is a leading hospital. It is attached to, say it's a tier 1 hospital. It is attached to Dornbecker. Dornbecker is a tier 2 children's hospital. It's in the same building. That's crazy. That's crazy. It is crazy to me that a pediatric oncologist makes 50% less than an adult oncologist. Just
Really?
across the board, 50% less. Doesn't matter what the specialty is. They all make less money. That is a problem in this country, that our children are not being cared for. And we're now in a position where there are no programs, and if there were, they're gone, that are showing doctors and students that are in medical school, hey, go into pediatrics. Hey, if you want to be an anesthesiologist, you want job security, go into pediatrics. I know you're going to make 50% less, but go into pediatrics. We need you. There are not enough. It's a big problem.
It's a big problem, the 50% less, because a lot of these doctors.
And now that's an
out,
average as well, by the way. But yeah.
I mean, when they get out, they already have medical school debt.
Mm-hmm.
They're, then there's liability coverage is very, very high. Okay, what is the average amount of subjects included in bills passing in U.S. Congress? There's no single fixed number of topics per bill, but analysis of legislative practices shows strong trends depending on bill type and scope. The majority of bills passed by Congress include multiple subjects, and the number has grown over time as omnibus legislation has become the dominant approach. Like, give me some numbers, though.
This one has the most. This is the biggest bill passed.
Okay. This is so crazy.
5,000 pages?
Consolidated Appropriations Act, which was in 2021, it has 5,593 pages. The bill combined all 12 regular appropriation bills for fiscal year 2021, COVID-19 relief, and numerous unrelated legislation provisions, including Copyright Alternative and Small Claims Enforcement Act, Protecting Lawful Streaming Act, Water Resources Development Act, and a variety of other measures on tax, transportation, energy, and health. Then nobody's reading that. They're not reading. You think AOC read that? You think George Santos read that? Nobody read that.
You want to make it about people not reading things. I'm sure we can get into that. But I think that...
George Santos is the crazy guy.
Yes, that was just
they just
pardoned.
Are they getting him out of jail? Is he getting free?
I don't know.
I might have him on. That he's a wild boy.
I don't know.
But these people that are Congress people that are making hundreds of millions of dollars through insider trading, and we're just like, I don't know what to do.
Okay, but here's the thing, though, is that things are not getting voted on. That's the other thing, is that so you take the Give Kids a Chance Act, and then you take these big bills that have so many pages. There should be a system in place where things are voted on separately, and there may be. I mean,
especially something that's as important as pediatric medication.
Absolutely.
That just seems like a travesty to include that in a bunch of other stuff in a bill.
Well, and the crazy thing. So our daughter's cancer, her treatments and her care afterwards. So she's still getting this thing called an MIBG scan, which is a nuclear radiation scan where they inject her body with stuff that is so bad for you. But it's all to scan her body to make sure that her cancer hasn't metastasized. We need to know this kind of stuff.
Right.
There's no new technology. These are things that she's being treated with that have existed for 30 years.
Wow.
We need new things. Our daughter should never have to get wheeled over to the adult side of a hospital to get an MRI because they don't have a machine on the children's side. It just, things like that should never be happening. This is the stuff that should be supported by our government and our tax dollars.
Yeah, that's a great example of something that should be supported by tax dollars. I've always said that the two most important things for people to be, if you want to allocate money towards helping people, it's education and healthcare. Those are number one and number two. But is there an argument that socialized medicine, I have friends that live in countries with socialized medicine, like England and Canada, and it's great in some ways, but it's also a nightmare because it takes a long time to get a surgery. A lot of the doctors might not be the best. You get quite a few botched surgeries that my friends have had. And a lot of them have actually come to America to get surgery in America, especially UFC guys.
Yeah.
Because they felt like the doctors were better because they're more incentivized. These doctors are paid better. And you're going to get those really hot shot, this is the guy who does all the ACL tears for the Lakers. These guys are So like,
Yeah,
there's
if you can
something to
pay
be
for
said.
that, for sure.
There's something to be said for the competition that drives innovation and makes people become the very best in the top of their field. But also, the most important things are not that. The most important things are regular, ordinary healthcare, and some of that stuff can fucking break people. Like one bad fall when you don't have health insurance and you're a couple $100,000 in debt now.
So did you know that the number one cause of debt in our country is a medical diagnosis?
I did. Yeah, I did.
It's terrifying.
It's terrifying. So
Yeah.
like that alone, I mean, if other countries have that, and it might not be perfect. Why can't we have that? And why can't we have that along with specialists that are even better? Like if you are, you know, the Lakers.
Yeah.
You know, they need a guy who's just a fucking wizard.
Yeah.
Pay people more for the very best guys. So you still have competition, but the idea that people just can go bankrupt if they get sick is like, are we not looking out for each other? Like, think about how much money we spend on other things. That's doable because other countries do it.
It really makes me sad. You know, when every once in a while we would get a medical bill. We have great health insurance. The Screen Actors Guild has some of the best health insurance I've ever seen, mind you. We take, in Oregon, where they're not used to seeing the Screen Actors Guild health insurance, doctors will sometimes be like, I have never seen an insurance company cover this. I'm like, I know. Actors,
yeah, they're really good.
It's phenomenal. But so we have seen so many people with sick children suffering financially. You don't think about it. It's not necessarily even the diagnosis that's causing the bankruptcy. It's the time. If your daughter needs a specialized cancer treatment and you've got to drive 6 hours each way every day or be put up at the Ronald McDonald House over by a hospital, you're not going to you're not going to your work.
Right.
You're not, you know, plowing your fields. You're not going to your 9 to 5. You're not, because your priority is your kid. That leads to bankruptcy. That's a really big problem. Yeah. And so it's not even the insurance. It's the lack of time. It's the lack of resources that we give people when they are sick. It's really heartbreaking. We got bills sometimes that were like $70,000 and like these crazy numbers. And you know, I would take a picture and send it off to our insurance broker because we have a very, very blessed life. And I was definitely shocked by it and a little concerned, but I was like, they'll handle it, they'll let us know. Most people don't have that. You know, they look at that, and even though that was an error, we should have never gotten that. It was still, you know, our portion was still $4,000 or something like that.
Why does it cost that much money? Like, that's the question. Like, what factors are involved in it costing that much money? Is it all above ground? Because I don't think it is.
Yeah.
It definitely has been shown that it's not with some drugs, that they've hiked the price up of drugs because they know people have to buy it.
Yeah.
They know it's necessary. You're going to pay.
It is a very messed up system.
It's
for
crazy.
sure.
It's
and
a crazy system.
It's got so many problems. Like,
Whenever
you can't.
you have money, it's money. Whenever they can figure out how to make money with things.
Yeah.
So it's like, is there an argument for some sort of a socialization of that in this country? And people that want to say that we shouldn't have any socialism, listen, we have some.
We do have some.
Here's a big one. Fire department. This is a big one. All right, we all agree the fire department is worth paying for with our tax dollars. We all pay, and the fire department goes where the fire is. If there's a fire in a poor community, if there's a fire in a rich community, that's how it works.
Yeah.
And we all agree with that because it's a very good part of a functional society.
Well, and we don't want to be like, no, we don't need it.
Right. You have a fire in your health then. Like, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You should have calamity centers.
Yeah.
Like, we've set up the socialism of our society is we've set up ways to handle calamities. We've ways to set up fires, ways to set up floods, and we pay for it. And we make sure it's all there because we all need it. You want a social calamity? No education, massive crime, all the different problems that plague us that we ignore. And some great ways to do that, to stop that, is free education and free healthcare. You cut back on most of the problems that people run into.
I agree, because one of the biggest problems in our country is mental health. It's a huge problem, and a lot of people go untreated because they don't have health care.
That's what you're seeing in these tents. Yeah.
You're seeing a lot of mental illness, a lot.
It's a giant portion of it. And
Yeah.
that was all during the Reagan administration. The Reagan administration, they changed how they, what they did with mentally ill people. And they shut down a lot of these institutions. And they just let people become homeless.
We were just having this conversation the other day because it's inhumane
It's sick.
to determine how a person should live their life and where they should live their life. And yeah, it's a very, very complicated gray issue for sure. You know, you see it in Portland where I live. It is a very complicated issue because there is not one solution. It needs to be a multi-pronged solution with a
Especially
lot
at
of
this
hands on
stage.
deck. Yeah.
I mean, in Portland, I think another thing that Portland did that was, I think, directionally correct, which was they decriminalized everything. They said, look, we're not going to criminalize you for doing cocaine or having mushrooms. We're not going to treat that like your personal use is a crime of anything. But unfortunately, when they did that, people moved there to do drugs.
Well, unfortunately, when they did that, they didn't put the services in place ahead of time to be
Right.
prepared for it.
Well, you would need a lot of services. You
Right.
need like real counseling and real health care. And you really should have an ibogaine center. If you're going to have anything that is dealing with addiction, which is one of the primary factors of these people being homeless.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's
Mental
a
illness
chicken
and
egg thing,
addiction,
right?
right.
Because like what comes
Yeah.
comes first, the addiction or the homelessness?
They should have set up ibogaine centers. If you've got a decriminalized society, set up ibogaine centers in Oregon. I mean, it'd be the perfect place for it. You'd be able to help so many people because so many of those folks are just stuck.
Yeah.
They're just stuck. And if you can get them out of whatever funk they're in, whether it's an opioid or crystal meth or whatever the thing that is that has captured their life and let them find out who they are as a human, you could probably save a bunch of those folks. And that can be done.
I do believe that a lot of those people can be saved. I think that it's really sad. It's how invisible people are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really sad.
It's really sad. That's someone's baby, and you have babies. You know what it's like.
I know, and that's
You
what
think
I
about
can't
how much
help
you
but
love your
thinking.
babies, and
I
you
know.
walk by that with someone's baby that is
know.
now on the street, covered in their own feces.
I know. It's
It's
really
horrible.
Horrible.
It's horrible, and it's horrible. It's just a stain on us as a community that we don't do anything about it. And the answer is not just lock them up. I think they're doing something crazy out here where they're bringing in the National Guard and they're sweeping up all the encampments and like. That doesn't fix it. You're just penalizing people for being fucked. But
Yeah.
But at a certain point in time, though, it's like you ever watch that show Hoarders?
Yes.
Certain point in time, you got to burn the house down. All right, this fucking this one lady was keeping bags of poop.
I have tendencies.
She had bottles and bags of poop all in her house, and they're like,
Yeah.
"We're gonna have to destroy this house. This is
know.
insane." It's like that is almost where places like Skid Row are. Like that it's so crazy that you've let it get this bad for so long. To even clean it up, it's almost like you have to start from scratch. So it's almost like you'd have to take those people, you'd have to set up treatment places and take those people and convince them that there's a way to a life. That you don't want to live like this forever. There's a way to a life, and we're going to try to help you. And have these places that are set up where they have counselors and food. They clean people up. They give them their appropriate mental health medication if they need it. They talk to them. They give them activities. That's not like financially prohibitively expensive. They spent $24 billion in California trying to stop the homeless crisis or help it. They didn't do anything. It got bigger. It got way bigger. And they spent $24 billion.
Well, because you're coming over from Texas, being kicked out of Texas.
The homeless.
Like,
I don't think they travel.
go west, young men. Go
I
west.
don't think they have that kind of ambition.
No, I think it's a big problem. But I also know that like it is not. It's a multi-pronged problem, like I said. A lot of people don't want to go into the shelters because they have an animal or they have a lot of stuff and there's limits on how many bags you can bring in, things like that. So it's you're not allowed to have drugs on you.
Right.
Things that are prohibitive to persuade people to go into places that have help.
Right.
So I don't know. It's going to take somebody a lot more creative than me and a lot of money and a lot of open-minded people to figure out what to do because it's a big problem, and it's a big problem everywhere, every major city.
It
doesn't matter if it's blue or red. It doesn't matter. It's a big problem.
The thing is, it's fairly recent. That's what's disturbing, because I think that it's a symptom of a society that's lost its way, because it's fairly recent. There wasn't a time when I was a boy where you had that many homeless people. You occasionally had a homeless person that you'd run into in like Boston, where I lived, or New York City. You'd occasionally run into homeless people, but there was no encampments.
Yeah.
There was no. This is a completely new thing, as far as I know.
It is new.
There was during the Great Depression, though, but that was just like horrific poverty, where they had shanty towns, where whole families were living in these set up shanty towns because they couldn't afford to be in a house.
I don't know. Do you think it's a loss of, in some regard, it's a loss of community, and it's a loss of empathy and caring for people? You know,
Sure.
I know that like in the town that I grew up, when somebody was down on their luck, everybody would come together and help that person.
Yeah.
It doesn't really happen anymore. You know, we're all so consumed with our own lives and, you know, what's happening to us, I think.
Yeah, I think it's not a coincidence that it's happening in the places that have the most people too.
Of
because
course.
where there's the most people, not only are you going to have the higher percentage, or rather a higher number of people with mental illnesses, but you're also going to have this thing that happens when you have too many people that live in a place where you don't value each other. Like, I live in a neighborhood where there's a guy that lives in my neighborhood, this old fella, and he's always working on his garden. And every time I drive by, he waves. I look forward.
Yeah.
I look forward
To the wave.
to the wave. I wave that dude. What's up? It's like he's a friendly guy. Everybody who drives by his house, he waves at.
Yeah.
And I look forward to waving at that guy. And that doesn't happen in New York City. In New York City, you wave at a guy every day. He's like, what the fuck are you waving at, bitch? Like, they want to fight you. Like, you got a problem with me? Why are you looking at me every day? Because there's too many people. There's fucking millions of people all stacked on top of each other. It's not how we're designed to live.
Yeah.
We're designed to live in some sort of peace and harmony with nature, not like a new nature. So this new nature of concrete and electricity is just weird for us. And so we behave weird, and then when you see someone who's down, you just think, that's not me, I'm going to keep on moving. Whereas
Well,
if you lived in
yeah.
a small town and that was a member of your community, that's Earl. Like, oh my God, Earl's passed out in front of his store. Like, Earl,
We
what's
gotta help
going on,
him.
man?
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
you love Earl. Pick him up. No, Earl's a faceless, nameless person in Manhattan. He's
Yeah.
one of many, and
Yeah.
no one cares. They just walk right by you on the way to the play.
Well, everybody is everybody's hustling, you know, like it's a big thing. Like it's we've got too little time in the day, a lot to accomplish. Everybody's just,
Yeah.
how do I get mine? How do I take care of my family? How do I protect this? How do I do that? How do I don't have time to look at Earl.
Exactly.
You know, and
But also, even if you did help Earl might be an idiot. It might be like one of them things, you help Earl, and then 2 days later he's smoking crack again. Earl! Like,
oh, Earl.
Earl might just be, that just might be Earl. There's certain people you
Yeah.
can't save, and there's always going to be people like that. But there's a lot of those folks that genuinely are just down on their luck, and maybe they had an abusive childhood,
Yeah.
and maybe things went wrong with them at multiple points. Maybe they had an injury, and they got OxyContin prescribed to them, and then all of a sudden they can't
Big
get
problem.
off. That happens
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
I know people that happened to.
But it's going to take a coordinated effort from our
Right.
representatives to actually care about people enough to figure out what the right solution is.
I would like to talk to the people that spent the $24 billion in California and go, what did you guys do? Like, how come you didn't do better? Like, there's more. There's
Yeah.
more than when it started. They
It's
increased their number.
Well, to me, what that says is that there are more and more people falling through the cracks every single day then.
An enormous number in Los Angeles. Los Angeles alone is a strange place in some neighborhoods where you're just driving through. You just see like, oh, this is like, if I was looking at a piece of fruit and a piece of fruit had like this bruised area, and I was like, oh, what happened to this? Somebody dropped, like, it's like a damaged part of your society. You've got these people completely removed from just like a bruise, just sitting there. They're a part of it, but they're a sad part of it. And that part is getting bigger. The bruise is bigger. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Well, then, I mean, we left Los Angeles 2 years ago. Can't even speak. 2 years ago, and I love LA. I love LA. I lived there for 25 years. I
It's a
freaking
great
love
city.
it. It's a great city. Great people.
A
awesome.
lot of amazing human beings.
Yeah.
Some of my
And-
best friends I met in LA.
And it's like many other cities. It has a problem. And the solution is there. It's going to require a lot of work. And I don't know what that is, sadly.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but I know that people don't course correct, and that's what's screwy. What's screwy is just let this thing get bigger. Like, no, you got to dump a lot of resources into removing these tent communities, setting these people up in some sort of a community center, some sort of a rehabilitation center. Like, make an effort. There's no way you can allow this because it's just the cost that's happening just to the neighborhood. Like if you live right next door to a tent city and you're trying to sell your house, like good luck. You're not selling your house.
Yeah.
That's going to fuck up everything. And it's going to fuck it up for them too. And it's going to cost everybody money. You'd be better off spending that money trying to help those people. And I guarantee you at least some of them are going to pop through on the other side, figure it out, become successful, and be forever eternally grateful. And they'll be able to help more people do the same. There's always a few of those people that come out of those kind of treatment centers that can help other people do it.
I would be really curious to see, like, statistically what the common denominator of the majority of the homeless people in the U.S., what it was. Like,
I wonder if there's done these
if
studies.
there's studies where they actually
It's got to
went
be
around
mostly drugs, right?
No, I don't know, though. I don't know. And granted, I do not know enough about this to be speaking about it with
I don't
authority.
either, but I just
like,
jumped right to a first conclusion.
But you do talk to some people that find themselves homeless. And I've had this conversation with somebody who found themselves homeless and started doing drugs because try spending the night out on the street.
Right.
It's not.
Right.
You're not comfortable.
Right.
It's depending on your circumstances, but you know where you are, potentially what your gender is, like you know what your own mental health is, like.
Also,
like
you
it's
probably
could be
low self-respect.
terrifying
At that point in time, you're literally outside.
Well, or you have high self-respect, but you had a really shitty fucking day. Or you're, you know, someone you were caring for had cancer and you lost your house because they passed and you didn't go to work for a year and a half. Like, for whatever reason, you then start using drugs because it helps numb the life.
Right.
So I don't know. I think you're right. That a lot of people who do drugs find themselves on the street. But I also think that a lot of people who are on the street for other reasons find their way to drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a really big problem with a lot of moving parts. And I think first and foremost, we have to trying to find our way to empathy and figure out how to help people.
Yeah, it's very well said. What you said, I completely agree with. And I think it can be done. I think I think it could be done with that $24 billion. I just think that there's a lot of incentive.
There's a lot of wasted money in this country, let's be honest.
There is. It's also, this is a thing, unfortunately, that they campaign with. You know, when there's certain issues that I think politicians genuinely don't want resolved because they can campaign on solving those problems. I really do think that. I talked to Rep. Luna, and she actually said that. And I was like, so you really think they do that? And she's like, absolutely. That is so dark that they would not want solutions from both sides.
Yeah. Because
they would rather keep the argument in place. So they go, if it's up to me, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to stop gay marriage. And then it becomes a thing that they would like to repeal gay marriage just so they have the ability to fight to bring back gay marriage. Like, that's how twisted some of these people are.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I'm not surprised. I think that's probably what happened with Roe v. Wade. I think that's probably part of it.
I mean, government is a business. We have to acknowledge that.
It's
that
a
everybody
crazy business.
everybody gets paid.
There's
It is
so
a
much
business.
money in that business, and they really do like having problems to campaign against. They openly talk about it. Like, we're going to get them on this one. Like, they like that problem. Keep that problem
You know
going.
what, though? You know what we should do? We should give them problems that, like, legitimately, like big problems that matter, like saving children.
Well, that would be great.
And, like, education. And things like that. You know, people shouldn't have to move house because they're trying to chase a public school that's better. Like, the existing public school should be great.
And we should have tried to invest in that a long ass time ago.
Well, and we should pay our fucking teachers.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah,
you know,
a lot more.
My mom was a teacher for 35 years. She had a master's degree, and she made something like $35,000 a year.
I know, it's crazy. You have to love what you do, like, and only want to do it because you love it. Whereas there's so many jobs that pay so much more.
But why is
and
it
it's
in
so important?
in our country that anything to do with children gets underpaid
I don't know.
when they're the future?
Well, if you wanted to put a tinfoil hat on, you'd be like, I'm trying to keep people down, trying to hold down society so I can control it. I just want to fuck up the education system, put as little money into it as possible, guarantee chaos, guarantee lawlessness, at least in some segments of society. That way we can always have reasons to bring the military onto the streets and reasons to arrest people and reasons to enact new laws and reasons to put people on digital ID. Like, if you wanted to get really cynical, you would say, well, they didn't solve it because they don't want to solve it, because they want the South Side of Chicago to still look like Afghanistan in the height of the war. They want chaos. They want murder on the streets, because that way they keep people scared, and that way they campaign against these various sides. If you really wanted to get dark, you would look at it that way. I think what happens is, more than anything, is that it's like really difficult to get anything done. And
I think that's the truth. I think that is the truth.
Really, and it's like, politically, it is. It's not your best weapon. Like, your best weapon are, what are the big cultural issues? You know, if it is immigration reform, if you're one of those people that wants to close the border and want to stop these immigrants coming through, and if you're on the other side, if it's we want compassion and we want health care for all, like, then those are the things that you start throwing around. Those are the things that are going to get you votes, right?
Well,
if you say,
yeah.
I'm going to campaign to make sure that we have health care for infants, because right now pediatricians and physicians don't get paid as much, and this is what I'm campaigning on. People will be like, okay, what about global warming? What about climate?
But then, so you have someone that does that. They run on that and wanting to get equal pay for pediatricians and higher pay
Right.
for teachers, and like,
Right.
let's really run on, you know, what's better for our children. And they get elected, and then they go to work on Monday morning, and everyone's like, well, you can't do that. I mean, I know
Right.
you got elected on it, so good luck. You're going to spend the next 2 years of your life,
Right.
you know, trying to keep your constituents happy,
we're
saying
gonna
that you're
block
doing it,
you
but we're
at
going to
every
block you
turn.
at every turn.
Yeah.
Every turn.
It should have been done that way a long ass time ago. That's the problem. It's like, I don't understand how anybody who loves their kids would not want their kids to be taught by the best people possible. So unless you're in abject poverty where you can't even think about where your taxes go, if you have children, you should be thinking like, boy, I hope they get the best people to teach my kids.
Well,
Instead,
Yeah.
we get people that are willing to take a job that pays so little that like almost anybody with a bachelor degree can get a better job somewhere else financially. Get more.
Yeah.
You may get paid more as a waiter than most teachers get.
Oh, please. You'd get more money as a dog walker.
Yeah, probably.
You would. A girlfriend of
If
mine.
you have a good group of dogs.
A girlfriend of mine was a lawyer, a trial lawyer, new trial lawyer, but, you know, making good money. And she had, and I might get this wrong, but she had stress-induced pancreatic shutdown. So her body as an adult had type 1 diabetes, which is like crazy. And it was all due to stress. So they told her, you know, you're going to have diabetes now. It's not like type 2, like this is it, but you still need to reduce your stress. And so she stopped being a lawyer. Her husband was like, okay, great. Like, this is it. We got to reduce stress. So she quit her job and stayed home and started doing yoga and was like, okay, I think I'm ready to try and contribute a little bit again and figure something out. And maybe I'll go walk dogs because, you know, I like dogs. Long walks will be stress reducing. I can make a little extra money. Why not do that? By the time she started watching our dogs, like at her home overnight for like a month while I was on location, she was making more money as a dog sitter / dog walker than she ever did as a lawyer.
But she sounds like an exceptional dog walker, though.
Crazy.
If you get a lawyer's mind to the dog walking business,
I mean, maybe I would get like a picture every day, but she
it's
wasn't
very
like,
valuable if you love your dogs. If someone's like, you
It
can really
is.
trust to take care of your dogs.
But those are the jobs, right? Talking about
Yeah.
jobs and like children, like those are the jobs. Like, you know, if I keep telling my nephew like every day, he's like, I don't know what to do with my life. And I'm like, be a plumber. Like,
Yeah,
go
we're
own
always
your
gonna
own
need
business.
plumbers, yeah.
Find a job where we're always going to need you.
Yeah, that's
You
good,
know,
yeah.
open a dog walking service. Start there. Like,
Yeah.
do do something.
Do
you
something,
know?
but more importantly, what do you want to do?
What do you want? It's so
What
hard
do
for
you
people to
wanna
figure
do?
out
I know.
because you're judging what you want to do based on what you see everyone around you do. And you know, I was blessed at a very young age to wake up in the morning and know what I wanted to do.
Yeah,
That's
it's very fortunate.
very rare. You
Well,
know?
that's a gift. That's a gift the universe gave you. Because if you're just like, I don't know where to start, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I think with people like that, generally, they've never tried to, this is what I think is one of the things that's very important for kids. Find a thing, whatever that thing is. Whether your thing is painting, whether your thing is music, whether your thing is sports, just find a thing that's hard to do and work
Yeah.
on getting better at that thing. And that'll teach you so much about what life is. And if you don't do that, if you just do the work that school gives you, and then you go home and you watch TV, and then you hang out with your friends, and you do the work at school, and you don't get involved in anything that really tests you as a person, like tests your creativity or tests your endurance. If you want to be a runner, are you willing to get up every morning and actually do the work? Like things that test you, they teach you the process of enjoying things and getting better at things.
Yeah.
And when people don't go through that when they're young, it's a real problem trying to find a thing and commit to it.
Yeah.
Like you almost have to stumble upon it and get lucky.
My parents, though, like when, you know, I wasn't raised by anybody in the arts. My dad's a builder. My mom was a teacher. And my parents, not one day of my life told me I couldn't do something. Like every single day they were like, go for it. Why not? Like, sure. You know, I do believe my dad always said, like, you know, second place is just the first loser. So I did have a dad like that. But like he said it sort of like, you know, he was building competition. Like he also knew that I was the child that he could say that to and it would motivate me. He didn't say that to my brother, who were very two different, you know, children.
Yeah, you got to figure that out.
But my parents told me I could do things, you know, and then at a very young age, this is where representation matters. At a very young age, I, in high school, was dating a hockey player who was my age, was playing for the WHL team in Portland, and got drafted. So when I was 17 years old, I saw an 18-year-old get drafted in the NHL. And in my mind, somebody my age did something really hard that required a lot of work, but he made it.
Right.
And him making it and seeing that happen in a counterpart of mine gave me the courage to go, I'm moving to California.
Whoa.
You did it, I can do it.
Whoa.
So you have to have both. You have to have encouraging parents, and you have to have the means to be able to pursue the things that you want to pursue. But you also have to have representation and see other people around you succeed that are your age or that you identify with or that look like you. That's important too.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Inspiration is so important.
So important. It starts with teachers too, right?
Sure.
Kids need one good teacher.
I had one good science teacher when I was in the 7th grade, and he said something that I think about all the time. I'd never thought about this before. He said, I want you to really hurt your head. I want you to look up at the sky and think about how far forever is. Think about the idea of infinity. Just really think about it. Just only look at the stars at night and think about infinity. Because you can't. You can't even wrap your head around it.
Yeah.
He was an intense dude. He was a Vietnam vet. It was like a little shaken up, and you could kind of tell. But he really loved science. He really loved science, and he was just trying to get us to understand how fucking crazy the world is. Like, we really want you to think about this.
Yeah.
Like, you're on a planet in space. And I never thought about it before then. I was like, oh, the stars, there's the moon. I never really thought about forever. The idea of, like, even being able to imagine where's my mind going when it's imagining infinite space.
Yeah. It's crazy how small we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
we were just going over this the other day. The whole thing's probably fractal. There's this photograph, it's a crazy photograph, of a human brain cell next to a map of the universe. And they look like the same thing. It's really weird.
so we're all like living in Orion's belt around a cat's neck in Men in Black.
Well, my joke was that there's a guy that's his eye, right? And he's depressed and he's going to blow his brains out, and that's the Big Bang. We're a part of, look at this. So on the left is a brain cell, on the right
Stop
is the universe.
it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's kind of nuts. I mean, it's kind of like dead on. It looks exactly like the same thing.
It really does.
I mean,
They're both so beautiful.
it's It's like the structure of it is amazing. But why wouldn't we believe? If we believe in subatomic particles, okay, we believe there are things that exist in the subatomic world that are behaving like magic. Like they're moving and not moving at the same time. They appear and disappear. We don't know where they're going. There's some kind of quantum entanglement that they show where particles that are not even remotely connected to us respond to each other. Why wouldn't we think that we are subatomic in another being? That's true infinity. True infinity is not just the size of the universe itself being infinite, but of literally your universe is a small part of another being that's in another universe.
I mean, anything's possible, right?
Well, the whole thing's so
we know
weird.
so little about
It's
the
so
universe.
Weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird. We have no idea. We're literally flying through space, and we're arguing over who's a Nazi, and the whole thing is just very bizarre. It's very bizarre.
It is pretty amazing when you look at how small we are. We've started reading. Our daughter's interested in space, and so we've started looking at books and talking about the Milky Way and what the universe is and what Earth is and where we live, and it's pretty amazing when you realize how fragile the whole thing is, because we're so tiny.
We're so tiny.
We're so tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our galaxy's so tiny. That's what's nuts.
Yeah.
Our galaxy's immense, hundreds of billions of stars. Tiny, little tiny thing, little tiny cute little galaxy. Little sweetie little galaxy.
Oh, look at that little dot right there.
Have you been paying attention to this object that's hurtling towards Earth? It's called A30. They're calling it A31.
I try to avoid things that are going to give me nightmares. Are we going to send? Are we going to
extraterrestrial? Perhaps.
Is it really? We're going to meet the aliens finally?
There's something weird about it. We were just going over it the other day. There was an article that was stating that whatever they use to detect what is around this, they can detect the composition, whether it's mostly water, or vapor, mostly iron. This thing is giving off the indications that is an alloy that only exists on Earth through industrial alloy making processes.
Okay.
That it's not a natural metal.
Okay.
And that's what they're getting is the signal that this thing that is hurling through space, this massive object that's moving, by the way, from the same direction in space where the WOW signal came.
I don't know what that is.
The WOW signal is they believe, intelligently generated signal that they picked up. I think it was in the 70s. Was it in the 70s?
I should know this. I'm going to lose my nerd cred.
No, it's okay. It's a weird one. It's a little obscure. So I don't know what the exact technique they were using to monitor radio waves in space, but they got a signal. So here it is. The WOW signal is a powerful 72-second narrow-band radio signal detected on August 15th, 1977 by the Big Ear Radio Telescope at Ohio State University, which initially suggested an extraterrestrial origin. Name for the WOW written in printout by the astronomer Jerry Amon. The signal had characteristics expected from a technological source, but follow-up efforts have failed to detect it again. The leading hypothesis is that a natural astrophysical event, such as a flare from a magnetar, briefly illuminated a cold hydrogen cloud, causing it to emit radio signal similar to a laser, or it's a laser. And then this object is coming from that.
From that area.
Yeah, look at that. They sent you a signal. And then now this thing is coming through there. So if you think how fast this thing is going, if it came from, the other side of the galaxy, it's probably exactly how long it would take to get here.
So it's coming directly for Earth?
No, it's coming near Earth.
Right, so we're not worried it's going to hit us.
No, I don't believe we're worried. Well, I'm going to find out tomorrow. Avi Loeb, an astronomer from Harvard, is coming on.
Amazing.
And he's going to enlighten us as to what this thing is all about. But it's weird. As it gets closer, it's weirder and weirder. So they've never seen anything like this thing before.
But is it possible then that another planet out in universes like isn't made up of, has alloy properties, and it could have chipped off and it's now hurtling through space?
Yeah, you would have to ask like a metallurgist that question. That's a good question. They just know the only way it exists on Earth is through this industrial process. If it is that stuff.
Yeah.
Why do they think it's that stuff? Do you remember that article? We looked it up like a couple of days ago. Look, it's so fun to think it's a spaceship. So fun to think the Cylons are coming.
Because they might be.
Yeah, they might be.
Do you think they're coming to save us, or?
I think they would have already stepped in if they were going to do that. They would have
think
stepped
so?
in. Yeah, sure. There's been, they would have stepped in right after World War II. They'd be
know.
like, hey, with the fucking nukes.
Or
They
do
would have
you think
stepped
they're just
in.
up there going, you're going to have to save yourself, kids?
Perhaps it's a process that all intelligent emerging life goes through. And then, you have to kind of let it go through the process, like you have to let your kids fall down. In contrast to all known comets, including the interstellar comet 21 Borisov, the observed spectrum of the gas plume around 31 Atlas shows prominent nickel emission, but no evidence for iron. Other than 31 Atlas, this anomaly was only known to exist in industrially produced nickel alloys through the carbonyl chemical pathway, which refines nickel through the formation and decomposition of nickel tetracarbonyl. The authors of the new paper postulate that this carbonyl process is realized naturally near the nucleus of 31 Atlas. They argue that this in situ formation of this thing predicts that nickel should be strongly concentrated near the nucleus. So it's like the whole thing is some very weird metal. That's the
Right.
point. And it's also it's weird the way it's moving. What are they saying about the way it's moving? There's something about
self-correcting or something. I think they thought it had some emission. I don't know. Looked like a jet, but I don't think so.
it did seem like they were saying that it's
very
changed.
far away.
It's very far away.
They zoom in and
So maybe it's the
they-
Cylons coming back. They're
Have you
like,
seen
we
the
have to go
video
save our
of it?
parents.
You seen they got a telescope that actually took video of it?
That's what amazes me, is that we have telescopes that can see that far.
I can send it to you, Jamie. This guy has it on his Twitter page. But it's very low resolution, obviously, because it's fucking millions of miles away. But whatever it is really weird. It's really weird.
People
seen
ask me
anything
all the
outside,
time if
like,
I believe in aliens. I think
pictures
just
like
because
this.
of what I do for a living and the
Of
genre
course.
that I'm in. And
I couldn't wait to talk to you about aliens.
what I always say, you're going to be vastly disappointed that I know so little about them. But what I always say is, I think it's a line from a movie where it would be an awful waste of space if
Yeah,
it was
I think
just
it is.
us.
Yeah, that is a line in a movie. I don't remember what movie it was.
It's from the movie with Jodie Foster,
Contact.
when her
Oh.
dad says to her that it would be an awful waste of space.
Yeah.
Beautiful movie.
It's a great movie. Carl Sagan wrote that book. That's it. So this is the thing. Like, what is that? What the fuck is this? Like, obviously low resolution, obviously moving through space, but also, what the hell is that?
Well, it seems to be moving pretty quickly, yeah?
Yeah, it looks like a spaceship.
I mean, it
Imagine
also
if
looks
it
like
really-
a dust bunny.
I was showing my friend Matt last night. We were having dinner, and I was showing him videos of praying mantises killing hummingbirds because he didn't believe it.
Stop.
He's like, no way.
Well, they're big. Praying mantises can be quite big, right?
Not in comparison to hummingbirds. It's crazy how strong they are. Like,
Stop. They
just
literally kill hummingbirds?
Snatch hummingbirds right off feeder. So they sit by the hummingbird feeder motionless, and the hummingbird comes in to take a drink and just snatches them,
What do they do with them?
eat them.
Stop.
It's crazy. Praying mantises are
Makes me really
so
sad.
ruthless. I have
Well,
watched.
they eat their own young, right?
They probably do. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if they do that, but I know that they put a praying mantis in a box, and then they'll drop a roach in, and the praying mantis just snatches it up and just starts eating the roach alive.
Yeah, but that
Eats the
doesn't make
whole
me
roach.
feel bad.
But it does it to this bird.
That makes me feel bad.
But the thing is, like, why couldn't that be an intelligent life form from another planet? Like, and then come here on 31 Atlas and land. I mean, that is a possibility.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is that we spend so much time, or I guess in our imagination, like we've been conditioned to think that, intelligent life looks like something from these movies. So we all think intelligent life is, these these guys with big heads, or they look like us, or, whatever we think. But they absolutely could literally be a flea.
It could be a 6-foot tall mantis.
It could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'd be in real trouble.
Real trouble. It's like, absolutely.
Show her one of those praying mantises getting a hummingbird.
This is going to make me really sad, you guys.
I mean, it makes me sad too. I love
Does it?
hummingbirds. Yes. I love
Have you ever
birds.
wanted to wear one of those hats with the hummingbird feeders on it?
No, do people do that? That's so crazy.
Like they'll put the little things and they just
that's
stay
silly.
really still.
They're
still
a
so you
beautiful
can-
little bird.
They're gorgeous.
Weird little bird too, and the way they're able to change direction and move.
It's amazing. I
But,
didn't realize our house where we live now, they stop all the time. So like they'll sit on the branches and stuff, which is really rare to see.
So this is praying mantises are so nasty.
But look at it. It
Look,
kind
they
of
just
knows
sit
it's there.
Well, that one.
Oh
that
my
one
God, it grabbed it by its beak.
Oh yeah, it reached out and just snagged them. The thing is, they're so strong for their size. I mean, that is literally like a
Wait.
person trying to take out a cow.
Go down. There was one, that one, with the praying mantis and
And
the.
a scorpion. Oh, the praying mantis is gonna kill that scorpion. That scorpion doesn't have a fucking chance.
I don't know if
That's
it,
what I'm guessing.
I don't,
Yeah, look, he's already on top of
What?
him. Yeah, he just mounted him.
But then look, he's avoiding the.
Yeah, he's gonna figure it out.
He's also avoiding the stinger. Like, what
I
is
know.
happening?
What is happening? They're
don't
probably
know.
both trying to figure out why they're in there together.
Oh my God. Like, this is the shit of nightmares for me.
Praying mantises are not. They're monsters. See if you can find videos of praying mantises eating roaches. There's like a whole mantis page on Instagram where they put like a different bug in there with praying mantises. And
How do we know it's not AI created, though, guys?
Because this has been around for years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Praying mantises. Oh, look, they fuck up giant lizards. They kill lizards. Like the lizard
my
tried
God.
to eat him at the beginning of it.
Oh my God.
If you watch the video, the actual video, the lizard tried to eat him. He's like, not today, bitch. I'll be eating you.
Oh my God.
That poor lizard thought he was going to eat the praying mantis, and the praying mantis is eating him. Like, we are so lucky that they're little. We're so lucky.
We are so I
Because
hate.
if they were big and smart,
No, and then there's a bird. I don't want to see the bird.
Is he
die.
killing that bird?
Oh my
There's
God.
one I found which I hadn't seen before. It's hanging upside down from a flower, eating right here, eating the
oh
bird.
my God.
It's like it's a big bird too.
That is
Oh
wild.
My God.
They are just monsters. I mean, that's like Alien from the movie Alien. That's what it's like.
Oh my
It's
God.
just little.
My entire mind has been blown.
Right? Look at that. That's what a praying mantis can do. Hang upside down while it's eating a bird.
And literally hanging onto the petals
Yeah.
of a flower
Like it's nothing.
upside down.
And with no strain at all. It's not
None
not-
whatsoever.
It's carrying a fucking bird
I-
that's like 5
like
times
the
bigger than its
size
body.
of like a barn swallow.
It's crazy.
Oh my
This is-
God.
the crazy thing is these stupid lizards that think they're going to eat them.
Oh my God.
I mean, it is such a bizarre creature.
I don't want to see any
Look at
of
that
this.
one.
That poor,
That one that's
poor
apart.
little beauty.
Oh, they do it all the time. They get hummingbirds. So he's just,
A lot of these have no action though too. I've seen
Oh my
people
God.
trying to capture stuff, but these go back as long as YouTube does. Some of those are 15-year-old videos.
it's
Those
so
are the ones
sick.
I would try. Oh, but they get them so quickly. Why do they stop moving so quickly?
They're so fast.
Because they're so strong too.
This one looks
that one looks fake.
AI. I mean,
That
now
looks
it's created
fake.
within 4 weeks. I start going, all right.
Oh, that looks like AI.
yeah.
That's AI. But the other ones are those cell phone ones are real. They're just unbelievably strong.
That's crazy. I had no idea.
And if there's like a spaceship filled with those fuckers,
We're
and they're
screwed.
all smart, they're way smarter than us.
We're
and-
done. I think I
yeah.
saw a 3-year-old boy getting ready to take on a praying mantis too. I think he's going to lose in one of those videos. So future generations are not looking good right now.
Yeah, if you walk up to a mantis, they'll be like, "What, bitch? They'll stand up."
They will on their
They're
hind
ready
legs.
to fight.
And they will.
We're just lucky they're little, you know? Right?
It's terrifying. It's absolutely. I'm going to go home and tell my husband all about this. Not my daughter.
So
'cause
that's
she'll
what
have
they have to
nightmares.
think about with this 31 Atlas. If it's filled with reptilians, then we got problems. What's going
Oh my
on?
God, I cannot laugh at children. Oh no. See, I told you there was one.
Oh,
Oh,
he
Jesus.
jumped up.
Oh, God.
He's like, fuck you. He tried to eat the baby.
He did. He tried to eat the baby.
That's how gangster praying
Oh, my
mantises are.
God.
He
It
tried
went
to eat a
after that
baby.
baby. He was like, fuck you. I will eat your entire body.
The thing that's crazy
before someone
is
comes to rescue
we
you.
don't think of them as being like vicious.
No, I look at them and think that they're super cool. Like I would have been that 3-year-old kid if I'd ever seen one in our yard. I would have been like, "Hey, honey."
A regular like green mantis. There are some wild mantises out there.
Oh,
Stop.
yeah.
There's more?
Yeah, look at that
Kung
one.
fu mantis.
Wow,
Oh
look
my
at that
God.
one. Those are beautiful. What is that one called? Kung fu mantis?
Kung fu, yeah.
What a beautiful looking insect. Just imagine a planet where that's the size of a horse.
No, we're fucked if
Yeah,
that's what's
yeah.
on
I mean,
this copper thing that's coming toward
We
Earth.
just got super lucky that the insect world is small.
It's true.
Somehow or another, it worked out that way, where the insect world is small. Because if the insect world was as big as the mammal world, it would be a wash. It would be over.
Like if they were the size of elephants.
Well, if they're the size of dogs, they'd kill us all.
That's true.
Look at that that one praying mantis can do.
true.
Oh, look at that one.
Perfect.
It looks like a flower.
That's a praying man. What is that thing?
Yeah, that's the one we were just looking at. This little guy.
Yeah.
And that's a bigger one. It's
Whoa.
a big giant mantis.
Holy shit.
That's crazy.
I don't know that. We probably have to listen to the video to hear what kind it is.
What is it gonna do? Like its head's the white part in the front.
Yeah, that thing. That looks like
There's
a.
the arms folded up.
Whoa.
Wait, where's his arms folded
His
up?
arms are folded right in front. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Stop. He just. Oh my god, he just bit its head off.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Maybe they just mated. Who knows?
Jeez.
That's what the females do after mating.
They do. They just eat them.
Yeah, they fuck up the men. Yeah,
Well,
but
that's
that's how you stay small. Nature's like, you're too fucking gangster. We have to keep you little.
We have to keep it. It's like chihuahuas.
And honey badgers.
Honey
Imagine
badger
if a
don't
honey
give a
badger
shit.
was the size of a wolf. We'd have a real
We'd have a real problem.
We'd have
We'd have a real
They had
problem.
to make them little so that they're so gangster. They just they never could take over the whole
These
forest.
fucking honey badgers just like.
I can imagine if like a honey badger was the size of a horse and they just take over entire swaths of land. There probably were things like that. You know?
There probably were back in the day. And now we have chickens left.
Do you have to keep up on a certain amount of sci-fi because of playing Starbuck? Do you feel like an obligation to your fans to like hold on to a certain amount of sci-fi information?
Yes and no. I feel that I have to maintain and hold on to a respect for the genre and the knowledge and that I will never have. That there are people that can come up to me and tell me the entire history of Star Wars. And before I was in Star Wars, I considered myself a Star Wars fan. And then I got in Star Wars and I was like, oh, I don't know shit about anything.
It's a big-ass universe now.
It is.
Especially now. Keeping up
huge.
on Mandalorian stuff, it's like...
No, you can't keep up on anything. So I always just say, I would love to know more about that. Can you please?
That's good.
Can you please
Right.
enlighten me? Because I don't know. I really
Right.
don't know. And like these, I have found that the sci-fi community, especially, like one of my favorite things is going to conventions because I love meeting people and like new people and meeting the people that are fans of the work, and we always have things in common. And I would be so bold as to say that sci-fi fans are some of the smartest people I've ever met.
I'm sure there are a lot of nerds.
They're
the
very, very,
smartest
very
people.
smart, and I cannot compete with that. I can tell you the lines that I can't forget. There are lines like from Battlestar Galactica, "We've got violent decompressions irradiating from the port flight pod." I thought I was going to be fired because I couldn't say it. I had to write it down. I had to tape it to my Viper. I was like, "Oh my god, they're going to find out! Oh my god, like I shouldn't be here. This is crazy. I'm an imposter." And then
That's
I find
hilarious.
now I can't forget it. I had a line from Mandalorian that I couldn't remember for the life of me, and so I kept memorizing it with my husband, and he was throwing tennis balls at my face. So I was catching tennis balls as I was memorizing it because
God, was that hard?
it was very hard. But it was. Pirate King Gorian Shard is captaining a Cumulus-class corsair of violent snub fighters.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was just like
Somebody hates you in the writer's room.
it's possible. Possible. You know, you never know.
That seems so mean to make someone try to say that. You say it. Fucking you say it first.
It's true. There are times I have since like Ron Moore was on my podcast and I told him that like for 25 years I have not been able to forget this fucking violent decompressions line, and he was like, "I'm so sorry.
That's
I'm
hilarious.
So sorry."
That's very funny.
Because he's aware that you know, he's making actors say shit that you should never have to say in
Right.
real life. Like, you know, and then furthermore, you have to try and decipher it. You know, like one of my jobs is to take something I don't understand and then say it with authority as if I do understand it. So I have to dissect it and learn what certain things mean. And if I don't understand it, I have to give it context in something that I do understand in order to like sound like I am not an idiot.
Right.
Which at times is hard. So, you know, it's God, the jargon is. I learned the tennis ball technique with my husband, though. That's a great technique.
That sounds like a good technique. Like,
Yeah.
if you remember it while you're catching tennis balls, then you really remember it.
Yeah.
God, that is a crazy sentence to try to remember.
Yeah, it was not easy. It was not easy.
You're a part of something that people in sci-fi that I think is very interesting. Sci-fi is, I think, the genre of action that has the most badass women.
100%. Yeah. At least it did. It
Well,
did for a long time.
I think the OG is obviously Sigourney Weaver.
100%.
That,
Yeah.
I mean, that is like an aside. No one is like, oh, it's a strong female lead. That is an aside to an insane movie and an amazing performance. Like that last scene when she kills that thing.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that's
that
1979.
Yes. Amazing. That character, when I saw that movie, I was like, I want to be her.
Right.
Because up till then, I only wanted to be Bruce Willis. I wanted to like save the Nakatomi building, you know, like I wanted these, I loved action movies with my dad. And when he started realizing that I had this affinity toward these movies, he started showing me movies with strong female leads. And Sigourney was the one where I saw that performance and she was everything. She was strong. She was capable. She was smart. She was feminine. She was funny. She was everything. And
it was a perfect movie.
It was a perfect movie. It was a perfect movie.
Alien-
Number two, possibly better even.
Yeah, this is a scene when she blows it out. I disagree.
You do?
Yes. Because number two, the aliens are easy to kill. This motherfucker's so hard to kill.
So hard
and
to
then
kill.
in the second one, they're just gunning him down.
Yeah.
It was a different
Okay.
thing. It was a different thing. Look, they're both great movies. I really loved Aliens. But the thing about Alien, the first one, was
Look at that shot.
thing was amazing movie.
Just the way that, it's just such an amazing
perfect
shot.
movie. It's a perfect movie.
The framing
Because
of that is
there was
beautiful.
never one moment in that movie where you saw what was coming next.
No, because we hadn't seen anything like it.
Nothing.
You
The
know?
chest burster scene. I remember being in the movie theater.
Look
just
at the
like,
utter fucking exhaustion
Yes.
on her face.
crazy.
Yeah.
The chest burster scene was like, what the
Fuck.
fuck? What? I remember being in the movie theater. I had no idea that was going to happen. There
Yeah.
was no internet back then.
Yeah.
Watching that, I'm like, this movie is nuts.
Mm.
And that little thing was running around on the ground, and his chest was burst open.
So
and
gross.
Everyone's screaming. There's blood everywhere. It was wild.
This is one of, probably, in my opinion, one of the best movies of all time.
Oh, I agree. 100%. And again, the fact that it was a strong female lead was just there's a tiny little part of the movie. It was just she was so good, you didn't even think, oh, it's a strong female lead. You're like,
Well, no, because
Sigourney
they didn't.
Weaver is a bad
They didn't tell
motherfucker.
you this is a strong female lead.
No, exactly.
They just
Exactly.
created a phenomenal character and
Exactly.
made her a woman.
Exactly. And she just played the part perfectly.
Yeah.
This fucking
this
scene
scene,
was
this
so
scene.
nuts. It was so nuts because you didn't know what is happening.
I
Like,
know.
People have to realize, like, before movies were spoiled, there was no spoiler alerts back then. You didn't
No.
get to watch clips.
But even just the way it's shot, the frenetic energy of the camera
Yeah.
matching the frenetic energy of his body.
Yeah. This is such a crazy scene.
It's crazy.
Bro. Again, 1979, this is happening. I mean, the special effects back then were nuts. To have something like, I mean, this is probably the greatest believable monster special effects in any movie up to this point. I mean, by far. That was a little bullshit. That one was like it was on wheels. That was a little silly.
It's on a piece of string. Someone's pulling it.
Yeah, it moved a little weird. But, it's an alien.
You were
I'll
still
give it
scared as
that.
shit, though.
I'm still scared. But then when you see the actual alien itself, you're like, what the hell is that? I mean, you never saw anything like that before. Not only was it completely unique in its design, it was horrific, and it looked like an insect, like an insect and a reptile at the same time.
Yeah, sci-fi was a place because I was a huge fan of strong women and genre work, and I found myself gravitating toward sci-fi because that's where women existed that I identified with, and I saw myself like, I didn't see myself as like this, well, the characters I played when I moved to California,
Right.
it didn't feel like me, and
Right.
I really found sort of my calling, I guess, when I started watching those women, and I loved Sarah Michelle Gellar, and I loved Lucy Lawless, and I loved Linda Hamilton, and Carrie Fisher, and like a lot of these women that were just really, really great characters, and they were written as great characters. And Starbuck was, and if you talk to Ron Moore about it, the reason why he made Starbuck and Boomer women, he didn't think about it. He just said, okay, these are the characters from the original. These are the characters we're going to put in my version. Women are in the military. Women do exist in combat roles now, and we are making this for the early aughts. We have to be representative of what the military looks like. We need to make a couple of these characters fit women. And he just said this one and this one. He didn't even give it any thought, And so I think part of the reason why they were so great, the characters were so great, was that they were just great characters.
Right.
The writing was so great. There was never a time where they were like, she's the best female pilot around.
Right.
It was
like
just
Linda Hamilton in Terminator. It's like she's just a great. It's just a great
character. And with a motivation that we all can identify with.
Right.
So it's and that's why she was such a great character, and she opened so many doors for me, and because then people started to believe that I was tough.
And how many girls started doing chin-ups after they saw Linda Hamilton?
Oh my God.
In the Terminator?
Please. And chin-ups are fucking hard.
I know, she's jacked.
She's jacked.
She got so fit for that movie.
I did a Spartan race with my husband because on my podcast channel I was during COVID and then like before COVID I was creating content of sort of like Katie did sort of stuff like I'd love to do this, let's film it and see what it's like. So we signed up for a Spartan race and then recorded the whole thing, and my husband not only ran his race but then ran my race too, like recording the whole thing. That's the hardest thing I've ever done, like getting in shape for that thing. I got in shape for 6 months before. That was hard. And getting to a point where I actually could do chin-ups and then also pull-ups too, I was like, wow, I'm strong. Like, I felt so strong. At one point, so I get to the actual race, and I'd been training with such heavy shit that I got to the medicine ball where you have to pick it up, carry it, and throw it, and then pick it up and carry it and throw it. And it was so light for me. And I was prepared for it to be like so heavy. I got to it and I picked it up and then like I threw it and it kept going. And I had to slow down because I had to go get the ball and bring it back to where it was supposed to be. I'd gotten almost too strong.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It was really awesome. It was so fun.
It's nice to know that you can get strong though. That feeling is a nice feeling. I wish everybody felt that.
Yeah.
Just get physically better. You'll feel better.
But I had fun doing it. You know what I mean? And I also
Sure.
set myself a goal. I think that's really important too. Like for some people that it's daunting is setting a goal, and the goal doesn't need to be winning. The goal just needs to be finishing.
Why do you think it is that like sci-fi in particular embraced these like gangster women characters?
So my opinion on this is that I feel like because science fiction doesn't exist, because you're existing in these make-believe worlds,
Right.
that strong women were not intimidating in sci-fi because we could be dismissed as not but that wouldn't happen in real life.
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
So men could then watch these
Right, not
roles.
be threatened.
That's my opinion.
I bet
Yeah.
you're right. I
Yeah.
bet that's the only thing that makes sense. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
because like, there's no female John Wick.
no,
You know?
no.
Well, there is that one.
Ballerina?
Emily. No, that one, the Emily one. The one that Kevin James was in. It's a crazy movie about this young girl who just kills all these bad guys. Like,
I have no idea.
it's
I love
kind of
Kevin.
like tongue in cheek. Like,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
But it's hyper violent. It's crazy. That's what it's called, right? Emily? I think there's two of them. There was one where they killed her dad and they killed her family, and so she killed everybody. And then she came and then the second one she came back and killed more people. It's like a young, cute girl who just knows how to kill everybody.
I mean, look, it's kind of fun.
It's funny.
kind of fun.
It's a funny movie.
When
Like-
I went through,
What is it, Jamie? Not Megan. Whatever Kevin James was in. It was about a young girl who kills everybody.
Kevin James,
Yeah, Kevin James was a bad guy. He was he played a white supremacist.
That movie's called Becky.
Becky, that's
Becky.
it. Becky, yeah. Isn't there's a second one though, right?
Well, there's a movie called Emily, and there's a.
No, what was the
Kevin James.
No, it is Becky. You're right, but there was a movie before Becky, I believe.
72% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's
Oh,
pretty
it's
good.
fun.
The Wrath of Becky also came out.
That's right.
I just saw Ballerina.
That's it.
I actually thought
think
that
that's
was really
the
good.
first one, right?
No, this is the second one.
That's the second one.
This is the first one.
I thought there was a prelude to. Either way,
Yeah.
fun ass movie.
Oh, Joel McHale's in it.
Yeah, yeah, he's great.
Fun.
It's a fun ass movie. But it's like that's the female John Wick. It's a
Well, I
little
think
girl.
everybody's trying to create these like strong female characters now, and I think that one of the biggest problems with a lot of them is that they're not focusing on the character to begin with, like we talked about. Like, write a strong character,
Right.
and then just make her a woman.
Right.
You know, like
Don't write a strong character that you have to have
don't-
a woman.
Right.
Right.
I think that's part of it, because they're all trying to create. There's so many of them now, right? And I love to see them, and I love to give them chances. But a lot of times, I want to also see somebody that's believable in the role as well, right? Like one of the things that I love to do is transform my body depending on what character I'm playing. Within reason. There's only so much I can do or that I want to do. But, you know, for my show Another Life, my character wakes up from cryo. I wanted her to look like dehydrated and sinewy and like really, really, really lean, like almost unhealthy lean. And I got myself down to such a low body fat. It was crazy. It was
What did
like
you eat to get down like that?
1450 a day. 1550 a day, something around that time, when I was cutting. But I packed on muscle and then cut like really hard for like 3 weeks before. And I was eating a lot of protein. And I got myself so low that my menstruation stopped. And I was like, oh, this is too low. This is really low.
Yeah, that happens with a lot of marathon runners.
Yeah, it was quite low. But I got to where I wanted to be. I looked the way I wanted to look. And then I naturally put on, you know, a healthy amount of weight as the series went on, which is what I wanted to do anyway.
Wow.
But so I want to see not someone do something detrimental to their health necessarily, but I do want to. I want to see the muscle. I want to see the capability in a character that's kicking ass, you know?
Right. You want it to be believable.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like when they all got in insane shape for that movie 300.
Oh my God. It's like, that would be like the best job in the world for me. If they're like, we're going to give you tons of time and tons of money to just get in the best shape of your life.
Yeah,
I'd be like,
here's some trainers. We got like 6 months.
let's do it.
There was a lot of people that thought that they used AI for that. They used some AI for sure because that was a crazy
For
movie.
300?
Yeah.
Well, they used
300 had a lot of AI because it
I
was
don't-
yeah.
yeah, I don't
Well,
know. I don't
Excuse
know.
me. I should say not AI. I should say CGI.
It had CGI for
Yes,
sure.
That's what I should say.
Yeah.
Because obviously the giant Persian king was not really that big. There was a lot of like fantasy elements of that.
Right.
But I think they really did get in insane shape. And a lot of people like dismissed that and said that's CGI. But there's videos of those guys working out, like getting ready. Yeah, look at these guys just going crazy, getting ready to film this movie. I mean, they trained like animals. So you can see them
So
all
cool.
working out. So they really did just develop incredible bodies, which the nutty thing is anybody can do. you just have to do it. Do what they did. You'll get a lot better.
It's a lot of hard work, though. It's not that easy. Yes, it on paper is easy, but like being a
definitely
mom
not
of
easy.
2 kids, though,
Oh, yeah.
like and having a job, in the last 2 years, I'm hard pressed to find time to work out, and I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, so I'm awake before my kids, and I choose during that time to meditate, write in my journal, breathe, take time to myself, and then they wake up. I haven't quite figured out how to fit in my workouts.
Well, that's an obligation that's very different, right? You're a mother, and that you're doing the absolute right thing. You're dedicating all your time to being a mom when you're there. Like, that's just how it is. But for the amount of hours that are in a day, it would be nice if you could just get a little time to yourself. As they get older, you'll have more time to yourself, and then you'll be able to get back on track. But
Yeah,
for
that's
people
my
that
plan.
have the time and don't do it, that's the wasted potential of your resources. Like, you don't have to do a lot. Just do some body
No.
squats and do some push-ups and
And you don't need a lot of equipment either. I think that's the thing.
No.
I think that we've made physical fitness in some way, because it's an industry, I think we've made it daunting for a lot of people. And, I think that if you just focus on the things, the tried and true, like you can do that stuff in your house without weights or with things that are heavy in your house. You can actually make progress.
Sure, and if you don't know anybody to teach you how to do stuff, all you have to do is go on YouTube. Just go on YouTube and look up beginner body weight workout. I'm sure there's a bunch of them out there.
Yeah.
And you can do stuff with no physical fitness equipment, just do push-ups and sit-ups and body weight squats, and you can get a great workout in that way.
It's true.
And nobody has to watch you. You don't have to feel self-conscious, just you and your phone.
Shit, you can go to my YouTube channel, because during COVID, I was doing my workouts, and I said to my
really?
husband, I was like, might as well record this shit and put it out there. So, and all of them are fun and interesting and easy, and people still come up to me and they're like, I lost, a man came up to me at a convention the other day, said he lost over 80 pounds doing the workouts that I put, and
That's
signed up for a
super
Spartan race. And I was like, that's awesome. I love that. That's
very
so cool.
positive. That's very cool. See, that's a great thing. They're your fans. They see you working. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to work out with her.
Yeah.
And everybody works out together. Great.
Yeah.
See, that's the great use of the internet.
Yes.
The internet has a lot of great uses. So
You can learn anything on the internet.
You can learn anything. You can find out stuff, how to make things and fix things, and get information about something you never thought you were interested in. Like, look, you never thought that praying mantises were so scary.
And now I know, but you know what I'm doing?
What?
I'm now already in my head trying to write a children's book about praying mantis.
Oh, you are?
I am. It's like, that's my ADHD. Like,
Oh,
I'm
you
already.
started once you saw that?
Once I did.
Oh, that's
so,
hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, I want a copy of that book. It'll probably
So
be
there-
cool.
It's going to be a pop-up book.
They're
so every time you
scary.
move it, the praying mantis is like,
We just, for some reason, miss them. And when we're describing the most ruthless animals on Earth, we miss the praying mantis because they might be the gangster of gangsters.
I think they might be. Do they ever attack together? Do they work in coordination?
That's a good question. If
'Cause-
they did, they'd be unstoppable.
Because that would be.
That's Starship Troopers.
That would be like if a bunch of women like cycled their periods. We could take over the world.
Right. Especially with those headsets. Get those Google headsets
We could really, because
on.
then we just talk to each other. Like, shit would be, that would be on fire. Like, it would be on fire.
Yeah.
We'd take over some crazy shit.
For sure.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Well, maybe that's a good use of technology. I know you're anti-AI. Maybe for that.
I am anti-AI because I am in self-preservation mode here.
I get it.
I am
I get
desperate
it.
to be like, I'm matter, damn it. And not just to my family,
Right.
you know?
I know. I think we're all going to be like that soon.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think we'll always find a place. You just have to be malleable, and you have to figure out where to, adjust.
Yes.
Pivot.
Yeah, there's going to be some pivoting for sure.
A lot of pivoting.
How often do you do your podcast?
So my podcast is once a week, every Tuesday.
What's it called?
It's called The Sackhoff Show. Just
Okay.
it
your
was
name?
called blah blah blah, but people couldn't find it.
Oh, that's funny.
So we just changed it to the Sackhoff Show, and we're actually, like I said, doing in the new year a Battlestar Galactica rewatch as well, because I've never seen it, so I'm curious
That's
to do
kind
that.
of crazy that you've never seen it. The Sackhoff Show sounds funny too. It's like it's your last name, but it's like a fun name for a show.
Well, we'll see. I mean,
got a good rhyme
it
to
is
it.
fun. I
A
have a
good,
lot of fun. I'm just trying to be like, a 10th as good at it as you are, Joe.
Oh, sweet.
Well, you're
Stop.
very good at this. There's
Thank
a
you.
reason why you're the best at it. You've been doing it a long time, and you worked your ass off.
Well, I'll just tell you what I did. I just talked to people that I'm interested in. That's it. That's all you have to do.
I do that. It's really hard to find the right audience in an oversaturated market.
Yeah.
But it's happening.
It is oversaturated.
It is.
But it doesn't mean it's inaccessible. If you're remarkable, you could pop through. And sometimes maybe it just takes coming on here, and then people will hear about it and go watch it.
And they'll
And
be
listen.
like,
And they're
who's
like,
Katee
"Oh,
Sackhoff? She's that chick from
this is
Battlestar Galactica?
fun." But you seem like you'd be an awesome podcaster. So
I have fun. I love talking to people, and it literally helped me figure out that I was ADHD because I couldn't not talk on top of people. I was like, I listened. I did. My first interview was Bryce Dallas Howard. God love her. And I listened to it back in the car with my husband, and I was like, oh my God, I don't stop talking.
do you wear headsets?
I do.
You do.
I do.
That helps a lot because you hear the over talking, which we all tend to do sometimes accidentally because sometimes you don't know when to come in. And but it's a learned skill. It's a learned skill like everything else. It's like everything else. Mm-hmm. And you have to learn different people, learn the dance of different people. Some people have just a different thing. And always, in my mind, my number one goal is to try to get the most out of them. Like get them to like have the most fun, the most get the questions that stir their interest the most. Like something, I want to know who you are. Like for real. Yeah. Like I want to like help you be the best version of you that you can when you're doing it.
That's sort of my thing as well. Like I wanted to, one of the things that came out of COVID for me was that, and I don't know about you, but I had weekly conversations with girlfriends I hadn't talked to in years. Mm-hmm. And we would like every Tuesday at 4:00, we'd have a drink and connect again. And the conversations were wonderful because we had the time to have them again. And then I started going back to conventions, and in the green room, I was having these wonderful conversations with people. And I was like, God, I wish I could record these because they're really authentic. And you're getting to see people in a very different light. And they're really opening up because it's not like a gotcha podcast. Like, if you want to cut something out, you can cut something out. Like, I'm not here to like ruin your career, know?
Right.
And the conversations are really interesting, and people are talking about things that they've never spoken about, and it's just really fun. So I've really enjoyed it.
Well, don't you think like you're learning in the process as well? Isn't that like one of the more fun parts of it? The more you get to talk to interesting people, the more you learn, the more you understand how other people think and how they feel about stuff.
Yeah, and it inspires the shit out of me.
Yeah, me too.
Like if I have like a month where I'm not hustling and someone comes on the podcast and they're like, I got 6 things in production. I'm doing this. I wrote an album. I got a book coming out. Man, I got 6 kids. I'm like, fuck. Like,
there's a
I gotta work
balance to
harder.
be had, though, isn't there?
Oh, of course there is. Of course there is. And I think that I've found the right balance. I have the right partner that's like super supportive, and we're a real good team. And yeah, I think I've got the right balance. But there's always going to be hustle in me. That's
Of course. You seem like you're well balanced, though. It's a good thing to see.
I try. You should ask my husband. He'd be like, that bitch is crazy.
I'm
What?
just gonna go on my instincts. I don't want to hear any contrary data. Well, thank you very much for being here. This was a lot of fun. I really
thank
enjoyed
you
it.
for
And I was a
having me.
huge fan of you on the show. So
Thank you.
it's cool to meet you.
Well, more things to come. I promise. I've got some really cool jobs in the can that are
cool.
Going to be
well, let's do it
me
again.
kicking
let's
ass
do it again
again.
sometime. I'd love to have you in here again.
I would
It'd be
love
fun.
that. You'll have to
All
come
right.
on my podcast.
I will do it. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.